welcome to Marie+One. I'm Marie, and today's plus one is Nico. Hi, Nico.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, better than I deserve to be doing, that's for sure.
Nice. I'm so glad to have you today. And we just redid the intro, so it's I was just like so pumped with what you just said, but it's okay. So you were mentioning that we are strangers,
We are strangers.
and it's funny because in this case, I feel like it's the first time that we didn't even do any chit chat before the episode. And you were just saying that you're not the chit chat type, like hi, hey, how are you doing?
Oh,
La, la, la.
yeah. They call it platicar where I'm from.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Yeah, it's that, like, hey, how are you?
Yeah, but the fake, like, kind of like,
Yeah.
how do they say, like, weather type
Yeah,
conversation? Like,
exactly. I'm not big on those.
yeah, I'm not. You know what? I'm learning because, for example, like, so I'm a clerk at the post office, and I, so happen that in my home office right now we have less volume. La 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 la. I think I talked about it in another episode, but they're sending us to different offices to get more hours. And I met this supervisor at another post office, and that day I was just doing my thing. I'm scanning packages, but I'm more like in my head. And then he comes in, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, hi, how are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, fabulous." And it's shifted my mood like all of like instantly. And I was like, actually, I'm fabulous too. Like, I was like, what the hell? Like, for real. And it kind of got me thinking about the small talk, right?
Mhm.
The, hey, hi, how are you doing? Good. Yeah, you good. And then that's it. But you never really ask people first how they're doing. But then also second, maybe you don't really care about the answer, but also maybe you don't even care about saying how you're feeling, really. I don't know. But I was just thinking, if you just shift in your mind to not just being good, but being amazing, fabulous, fantastic, then you can shift your mood. And I'm so sorry we went straight into
No, I'm with it. I'm
dived
with
into
it.
something else.
I'm with
But
it. I'm with it.
all that to say that we don't know each other.
Yeah, we are strangers.
And I can't wait to learn to know more about
Me
you.
too. I'm excited.
So
One of the things I just picked up is that you speak French.
I do.
Con-
Do you speak a little French or no?
Mm-mm. No, that's one of the things that I'm working on right now, actually, is becoming bilingual.
Nice.
Yeah, so I grew up around Spanish speakers. All my family speaks Spanish until my generation. They stopped teaching
Oh.
us Spanish at my generation just because of the effects that it had on their life growing up. So whenever I meet people who are bilingual, I get all excited. And then
Mm-mm.
I got some cousins who their father is from France.
Oh.
So mom is from Mexico, mom is from America, grandma's from Mexico, father's from France. So they speak three languages.
Yes.
When I get around them, I'm like, I'm just gonna,
I'll just be there.
I'm not gonna say anything because they'll go off in like three different languages, and I'm like, all right, cool. So no, that's really cool. I like that. That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, you know what? My husband is learning French, but for him, it's kind of the same because he's Hispanic and his family, they're all like speaking Spanish or Spanglish, but
Hmm.
they never taught him or his brother to speak Spanish.
Hmm.
And so I don't know, part of us probably like the generational, also fear like, it got us in trouble. We don't want
Yeah.
them to be in trouble, but also kind of like so that we can speak together and then the kids don't
Oh
understand. I think
yeah.
there's a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
Um, but it's funny because me growing up in Belgium, we speak so like just because I was born in Brussels, I always like all my student jobs were in Dutch. So I'm bilingual French Dutch, and then we learn English in school, and then we could choose a fourth language, which for me was German. I love German. I can only like I could probably just have a bakery conversation
You can do the
in
hi,
German.
hello, how are you?
Yes. But I love, love languages, and I would love to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
But before we keep going, I wanted to ask you, can you please introduce yourself in a few words for us?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Nico Morales. A few words. Let me throw out some titles that sometimes people get inspired by. I'm an author, so I have a best-selling book in three different countries right now. Been published in a book in international book.
Mm-mm.
I run a small business where we focus on personal and professional development for individuals who are within the behavioral health industry. So I
Nice.
work with the professionals that serve the end user, and then when the end user is done with whatever treatment programs they have, I created an aftercare program for individuals who want to continue working on themselves without so much the clinical work happening. So I run a professional development business doing that. I also work as the contractor for the state of New Mexico for some behavioral health services. So that's a couple of things. The 3 words: author, keynote speaker, consultant. Those would be 3 words that if you want to remember Nico by.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. It sounds like you care a lot about mental health, behavior health. I mean, I'm not a specialist or an expert, so I'm actually excited to have you here because I feel like we talk. I feel like it's. Would you mind defining what behavioral health is?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question because what I sense you're going into.
Before I dive into something that actually it's like, you kind of didn't really understand what I just said.
No, that's fine. Behavioral health is basically the behaviors that we have on day to day. It's your habits. That's behavioral health.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So I was not there.
A lot of people have created a poor behavioral health, which causes them to have substance use, which causes them to have mental health issues. Really, what that is, though, is their day to day habits, their thought processes, their beliefs about themselves, and their self worth. And all of that combines, directs our behaviors. And so behavioral health, for me, that's my definition. Now, you want to talk to these clinicians, because I'm definitely not a clinician myself. They probably have some sort of definition about it. We could ask Uncle Google,
right?
Figure it out. But that's when I speak behavioral health, that's what I'm talking about, is people's with habits. And yes, it includes substance use, mental health issues, depression, anxiety. And then you can go into the bipolarisms, the schizophrenics. All of that is considered behavioral health because it's how we behave.
Okay. And so do you specialize in the global subject of behavioral health, or do you have like a specialty that you like to advise people on?
Oh yeah, so I come from what they would call a lived experience background. I'm certified as a peer support worker in the state of New Mexico, which essentially says that everything that you've overcome in your life is now your credentialing so that you can go help someone else overcome it in their life too. So you don't really have scholastic licensing. You don't go to school for social work. You really just use your own experience as your knowledge base.
Okay.
So that's what I specialize in, is peer support work. That's who I do a lot of my services with, is the Office of Peer Recovery and Engagement for the state of New Mexico's Behavioral Health Services. Say that 10 times fast. I swear. Say that 2 times without taking an extra breath.
I could probably not say it 1 time.
Yeah. So that's what I specialize in, and narrowing it down even further, I don't do too much of the mental health stuff.
Okay.
What I really focus on is substance use.
Okay.
Because that's what my background's in.
Okay. So before we dive into that, because you just said it's also about experience, I wanted to ask you, how old are you?
35.
35? Okay.
Years old.
Okay. Yeah. I'm 32. So it's funny because I had a couple of like youngster, and I was like, oh my God, I'm the big sister. I'm not the big sister today. I'm the little sister, which I don't know if you know. I've said it a couple times already, but I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and I'm the oldest. So
you really are big sister.
Yes, yeah. I love that role.
Yeah,
a lot.
Absolutely.
But do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 1 younger sister. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's just us 2, so I get to be the big brother all the time.
Oh heck yeah! Do you have a big gap between you 2?
No, we're 2 years apart. So she's 33. If I'm 35, yeah, she's 33. And growing up, we did not like each other, like at all.
Okay.
We had completely separate interests. We used to fight a lot. I got in trouble once. I grew up wrestling. That was one of my favorite things to do. It's the oldest sport in the world, and I love it. But I was trying to practice wrestling once and pulled a move on my sister. Face went right into the floor, and my mom lost it. She was like, "You can't do that with your sister." My sister's over there crying with raspberry across her face. I'm like, all right. But as we've gotten older, we've become more close.
Okay.
So it's really cool to see her
as
she's married. She got a few kids. So.
Oh. Do you have someone special in your life?
No. I mean, I have tons of special people in my life, but if we're talking like intimate partner.
Yeah. No? Okay.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
if you're watching, maybe if you're interested in Nico after this episode, just give us a
Leave a comment. That's what you could do.
leave a comment.
You could leave a comment. Yeah.
I could add matchmaker
There you go.
to my bow. How do you use that metaphor in English too? Because we call like that you have different. I'm so bad with
It's all right.
expressions.
Should be
Like
with it.
I don't. It's okay. We'll move on. It's okay. We have an expression in French. We say like when you have different like abilities to do stuff. We say you have different. Oh, Marie, really. Chords on your bow.
Okay.
Probably doesn't make sense in English.
Yeah, well,
You
it's
know.
all right. It's French, so
Yes,
it makes
yes.
sense. I got you.
Avoir différentes cordes à son arc, comme ça. So for the people that are, I know my sister watches the episode, she'll be like, oh my God, I know what she means. So before we dive into, you know, like everything that's happening right now in your life, I want to take maybe a deep dive into young Nico.
Okay.
And so what type of person were you, what type of kid were you when you were younger? Were you more like a extrovert, introvert?
Extrovert.
Okay.
Extrovert, yeah. Very much an extrovert. And I was so much of I love people. I hate people's habits, but I love people. And because I love people so much, it bothers me when I see them doing stuff. And the reason why it bothers me is because I've always wanted somebody to be like, hey, Nico, you're messing up.
Mm.
Hey,
And you
Nico,
didn't
you're
get that.
messing up. And so for me, being able to do that is a positive. So absolutely an extrovert. I wouldn't say I was the cool kid because I grew up like really nerdy. My mom used to have a comb over on my head, buttons all the way to the top, tucked in with the belt and the khakis and the green. That's like, I grew up getting bullied.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah. And I didn't mind it. Like, I thought that's what just happened because my cousins would make fun of me and I'd make fun of them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. The kids at school would make fun of me, so I make fun of them too, right?
But was it mostly because of the way you were dressed?
No. Probably because of the way
or
that
different, different personalities?
Yeah. So absolutely an extrovert. I love being around people, love connecting with people. Probably got in trouble for talking way too much. And telling stories. That's what I used to get in trouble for as a kid all the time.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I can, just really quick.
Oh, of course.
Whatever you get in trouble for as a kid is probably what you should be doing as an adult. Just FYI.
Ah, okay.
So if you got in trouble for telling stories, you should probably be writing stories for somebody.
Right.
If you got in trouble for helping people all the time, you probably should be in a role where you're helping somebody because that's just what your natural ability is.
It's funny you say that because I have this vivid memory of growing up. I don't remember what grade I was in, and either way I couldn't match the American because we have a different system. But I remember the teacher got my my vocabulary is terrible. It's terrible. I'm sorry. We have, you know, where you write your homework and stuff.
Like agenda?
Yeah, thank you. She took it to write a note to my parents to say Marie has her binder like go around the class because it was at the time we're from the same generation. I don't know if it's the same in America, but we used to have like write notes on people's binders and kind of leave a little, you know, note.
Yeah.
And we didn't because you guys have the yearbook. We didn't have that.
Okay.
So I guess that was our like yearbook.
Your way of collecting memories.
Yes. And for some reason, it was so unfair though, because everybody was doing it and everybody got their binder on time. And then the teacher was walking in and that girl was still writing on mine. So I was just like, whatever, I'll just get it after. But then she was like, no, here. And as the teacher started talking. And so the teacher was like, okay, Marie, give me your agenda. And it was like, oh, Marie keeps talking and keeps writing or whatever in class. And so I kind of the same, like, and I was always the talker. I talk too much sometimes, but I love it.
It's a gift.
I just love it. And also, I mean, you were the big brother. I was the big sister, and I feel like you also. I can sense. Maybe you tell me if I'm wrong, but that you always took that role of giving the advice, being the example. Yeah. That was something like deep in my childhood that people were making fun of me, and I was bullied too. But because well, we were not poor, but I mean, we were 8 at home, like 6 kids. So my parents didn't really have money to buy us like new clothes and or trendy anything. And so I would just get the clothes from my cousins or, whatever we would pass in the family. And so, I was never like in. And so that was something. But then also, I never had time. Like, I had to help my parents. And so in the morning, I would just like run to drop some of my brothers and sisters to school. And then I was running. And so I would always get to school red. And everybody was like, oh, did you go to the sauna before school? And it's like, haha, I don't have time for this. Like, for real, it's not even funny. But, and then there was like those groups of people in school. And I feel like I never matched or belonged to any of them. And so school was long. School felt long and just like I didn't fit. And I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad we're part of the generation that we didn't have social media because I think it would have been terrible for me. But yeah. So did you feel like you didn't belong either, or was it a little different for you?
I felt like I didn't belong until I was 7, and then I started wrestling. And when I started wrestling, I had comrades that were doing the same thing, right?
Okay.
So when it wasn't, even if we didn't know each other, we saw each other at school and it was like, oh, yeah, you go to the same wrestling
the
club.
little wink.
Yeah, I got your back now because I've seen you in other places, right? And then when I'd go to other school events, I'd run into people, oh, yeah, I saw you at a wrestling tournament. And that's kind of where a lot of my identity got formed.
Nice.
With wrestling. So I would say, yes, I don't feel like I fit in. There's probably some people that are going to watch it and be like, nah, Nico was part of the cool kids. I'm like, I don't know what cool kids you were talking about, but I didn't feel a part of it until I started wrestling. And then for me, wrestling really gave me outlet, one, and it gave me a community, too.
Okay. Nice. Are you still part of that world?
No.
Okay.
No. I stopped wrestling when I was 17. Started coaching wrestling when I was 24, and I started coaching when I was probably like 22, and I stopped when I was about 26 coaching wrestling. And now I just sponsor different fighters and different wrestling teams as I can, because I understand the opportunity that it creates, the mental toughness that it creates, because wrestling really helped me overcome a lot of the things that I've overcome.
Okay, so I'm not an expert in that field, I want to say.
Perfect.
So would you say, but we watch a lot of like MMA, boxing. Where does wrestling like fit in that? Is it closer to MMA, or is it different? I know nothing about wrestling.
Got you. So wrestling is closer to MMA, and wrestling is essentially what they're doing when they're on the ground.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm doing with my son when I try to get him dressed.
You got it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes he wins, right?
Yes. I'm not going to say most of the times, but yes, sometimes.
Yeah. And so that's where, that's how it factors into MMA. That's the ground and rolling around.
Okay. And is it something that you showed interest in, or is it something that your parents felt like would, that you would fit in, or that would be good for you? Because I see my son right now has a lot of energy. I can see, as a mom being like, let's just put him into wrestling. Let's just let some energy out of him and do that. Or is it something that you showed interest in and you were like, oh no, I'm going to start that?
So looking back, it would be to get attention from my dad. I grew up in a 2-parent household, blessed to have that. Growing up, my dad watched WWE, the quote-unquote fake wrestling all the time. And my mom didn't let us watch it. She thought it was too violent for kids. And so Monday nights and Friday nights, my dad would take the TV, and you had to go to the room, read or do something, go outside and play so he could watch the wrestling. So as I think back on it now, looking from the outside perspective, I saw it as a way to get attention from my dad. But I was the one that initiated it, because I got a newspaper once, and on the newspaper I saw these 2 guys wrestling, and I didn't even know what it was, but I saw one holding the other one, and I was like, I want to do that. So I took the newspaper to my mom. I remember vividly running through the hallway at my house all the way to the kitchen table where my mom was sitting at, and I put the paper in front of her. I was like, look, this right here is what I want to do. And, she's a mom. She had other things going on. She's like, all right, cool. She took the paper from me. And then like 3 weeks later, she's like, hey, you still want to do that wrestling thing? I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, well, I found a place
Oh,
that will accept you.
okay.
I'm like, cool. Let's go see what it's at. So she takes me to the local high school, and we go into this dark hallway, climb up like what felt like 60 stairs to this room, this upper room. And inside this upper room is just loud music, guys being guys, running around. And I just see kids all the way up to grown men, and they're all just having a blast. And it was just an overload. I was like, yeah, I got to do this. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I got to do it.
But that's it.
And from there, I was hooked. So at 7, I started wrestling, and it was beautiful. A couple quick cool facts about wrestling. It's the oldest sport in the world, oldest sport in the Olympics, minus racing.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the Romans that probably was qualified as
Absolutely.
wrestling.
Yeah, they used to do it in the Coliseum. And those guys used to train crazy. They would go train in the summertime like it is right now, 100 degrees. They'd go train in the middle of the day, and they'd wrestle. And then when it was freezing cold, they'd do the exact same thing. And Roman times, so they're naked the whole time doing
right?
it.
Those men were, but it's crazy because it was different time for so many things. But also life expectancy was also, less at that time. But man, you lived a different life though. I was talking about that with my husband a couple days ago because it's like at the time, like big painters, they had like this one painting or this one like sculpture that, that was their lifetime work. And it seems like they lived a full life, right? And then now we're all over the place and we're never happy and we're just constantly searching for something else. But until you find what makes you truly happy or what helps you wake up in the morning. But I don't know. And then, but I'm not even making sense, but it's just because I'm
you're
like
making sense. I got you.
In my head, I'm like, wait, what? But it's just, and it's just because I feel like I'm constantly evolving, and being part of the podcast and talking to people also helped me evolve too. But I wanted to say though, your mom, she played it off, but then she came back to you though. That's amazing. See, that I feel like moms have superpowers because it's like, yeah, give it to me. And then it's stuck with her and she still managed to find it for you. And then it seems like that moment was like so important for you because, for you to remember it this way and then, climbing those stairs, getting there. I was there with you. So that's amazing though. And especially if it was a big part of your life and a part of where you were trying to get your dad's attention. So you said you're part of a two-parents household. Are they still together?
No.
Okay.
No, my parents split up about 15 years ago. So, yeah, no, they split. And that's when they technically split, like on paper.
But they were already...
Yeah.
Okay.
We're humans. We can sense things, right? So you can sense when stuff is different. You could sense. And then as kids, you are only exposed to what you're exposed to. So you qualify that as normal. Then when you get around other people, you're like, hey, well, how come they do it that way? How come your house does it this way? And that's when you start to see the different avenues, both positive, negative.
True.
I don't really like to say things are good or bad, right? Because they just are.
Right.
They just are. And so I got the experience of having a two-parent household. My dad didn't experience that. My dad grew up raised by his brothers and sisters. So when I factor that type of stuff in, I'm just like, all right, cool. He did the best that he could with what he knew, what was available to him. And same thing goes for my mom. Sometimes I think we put our parents on a pedestal, and it's like, no, they're just another human being trying to sort it out. And they had only so much experience that they got.
Right.
So can you give them some grace?
I can't agree more. I was talking about my mom passed away right after I moved here in 2019. Thank you. It was hard because I wasn't talking to her. We had a really difficult relationship. So my parents were together, not married. They separated when I was 6, and I had 2 sisters at that time. And then my dad got married, had 3 more children. My mom had a little boy with my stepfather, but the thing is, like you exactly like you just said, is you see your parents are as your parents, right? It's just your mom or your dad, almost like that's their title, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the only title. And sometimes it's hard because for me, I felt like she was cheating me, like she wasn't fulfilling her like title that she was supposed to be for me. And then you grow up and you realize stuff, and then you realize the how old she was when she had you, and when my dad left her. And even my dad, you realize like so many things, that that he had a violent dad and crazy stuff. And in a nutshell. And so and you grew up and you're like, oh, they were trying to figure it out too.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't mean that everything they did is okay,
Oh, absolutely.
but it puts stuff into perspective.
Oh.
And I feel like that's so interesting too, because in a sense, it's hard for me to talk to my dad about my childhood because it wasn't perfect either. But it's hard because as I'm growing up, I'm growing up. Yeah,
Yeah,
English,
we're still growing up.
right? It's like no, but yeah, as you get older,
Yeah.
you mature like good wine, and then you understand things, and you're like, okay, well, this wasn't okay, or or I appreciated that, but this wasn't good. And so, like my husband always liked to say, well, you have all those like beautiful family pictures at castles and at like doing so many activities and doing stuff. And I was like, yeah, but you don't know that 2 seconds before taking that picture, we were being yelled at because we needed to smile, or
Yeah.
something happened and this and that, and then there's a picture, so it's like picture perfect, and then
Yeah.
it's for Facebook, and then you move on.
Yeah.
And it's like that wasn't okay. But they took us to so many different places. We did activities. Even if we didn't have money, they would make it work, that we would just like grab make sandwiches at home and then leave them in the car and then go whatever. We would find a way. But the stress also that was, surrounding that was also really hard to handle. And so I was talking to my dad about that, and he didn't take it too good because he took it so personal that he was like defending himself. And I was like, wait, I'm not like,
Attacking.
yes, or questioning my whole childhood.
Yeah.
Yes, there was good stuff, but I would like for you to recognize that some of the stuff, the beat ups and stuff,
Yeah.
that wasn't okay, And so, but he's not there, and that's okay. But yeah, I feel like that's interesting. And could you tell that your parents were kind of like shifting, their relationship was shifting at some point?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I could pick up on it. Probably, I'd say I was 11, 12 when I
Oh.
started to notice, like,
Mm-mm.
y'all don't do what other married people do.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah. And see, it's crazy because I feel like sometimes people say we stay for the kids.
oh yeah,
But
that's the worst thing
sometimes-
you can do.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. I'm one of those kids.
Oh, there we go.
I'm one of those kids. Don't do that.
Uh-oh.
Don't do that. Like, because we can sense when people are at peace. We can sense when people are agitated. We can sense language, no matter how much I think it's cool to speak multiple languages, it's something that I want, right? It's only 20% of communication. The rest of communication is done through body language, through tonality, through expressions of your face, right? So it's the same thing with relationships. Only 20% of it is the ring on your finger and the
Right.
paper and what everybody else sees. 80% of it is how you guys treat each other inside the home. Like what's actually happening there. So yeah, I could pick up on it probably when I was about 11, 12 years old. I knew something was off. And like most kids, we think that we're the root of all problems, right? Just as humans, we think that it's all about us.
Yes.
So I was like, cool, I could help them out if I relieve some of the stress of me being dependent on them. And so that's where I started to make decisions that probably weren't the best ones. Because right about 14 is when I took on the real rebellious path.
Okay.
And it was, I wanted to drop out of school. So I was, after 8th grade, I was done with school. I'm like, I don't need to go to school. I go. Now, this is during it's like 1990, early 2000s. Yeah. So this is like early 2000s. It was unheard of for people just to drop out of school. Charter schools were, like, if you drop out of school, you're going to prison or you're going to die or you better go to the military. You don't
Yes,
have very many options.
It was the end of your life if you
Yeah,
stopped. Yeah, yeah. It was the
1000%.
same for me.
But they didn't see the ideas that were coming out, right? Social media was just expanding then. The internet web was just being created. Cell phones were brand new. My grandmother bought me my first cell phone, not my parents. Me and my grandmother had a very special relationship, and she was like my parent. So,
what was her name?
Her name was Manuela.
Manuela.
Yeah,
that's a pretty name.
yeah. She's a solid lady. She's a very solid lady. She was valedictorian of her school, but because she was Hispanic, they wouldn't give it to her, and so that embedded in her a anti-system thought process. And so she never liked being told what to do. She got here's a funny story about her. She got into a wreck when she was like, I don't know, mid-20s. And the judge told her, hey, you need to go do X, Y, and Z in order to get your license back. And my grandmother was like, you ain't going to tell me what to do? And the judge was like, okay, then you're not going to get your license. She's like, that's fine. I don't trust you guys because of my experience, right? And so she never drove after that. So I remember getting on the bus with her all the time when I was a kid.
Okay, hard-headed.
We'd get on the bus and we had to go downtown. We got to go to the P.O. box. What do we got to go to the P.O. box for? Oh, I got checks in the mailbox. I got to go get my checks. I'm like, all right, cool. So we take the city bus in Albuquerque. I'm born and raised Albuquerque.
I was going to ask you. Okay.
So city bus down Albuquerque. For me, I was just like, this is a fun time. Crazy people. But I was with grandma and nobody messed with us.
Right.
So it was amazing. And because of those little glimpses, and the way that my grandmother used to teach and talk to me, I never really liked school. So I was like, this is stupid. Why do I have to sit here and learn about something that really is irrelevant? Teach me how to go make money. Like, give me a skill set. And so when I was 14, I was going to drop out of school. And I told my mom, I ain't going to school. Like, I'm done with this. And she's like, if you're not going to school, you're going to be a construction worker the rest of your life. So why don't you go do it now? And I'm traditional Mexican. So I got uncles that all do.
They were ready.
They all do construction. Yeah. My dad put me to work when I was 10 years old cleaning yards so that he could have some extra fishing money.
Oh, okay.
Like, I learned after a few years that I wasn't getting paid the total amount. How come I only get a 20 and he gave you 5 20s? Like, how come I only get one? Like, oh, this is fishing money.
Did you get to go fish too? Or
yeah, he would take me, but I hate fishing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just because that's my dad's outlet. We all have a vice, right? We all have a way of escaping. Some of them are healthy, some of them are unhealthy. For my father, the healthy one was fishing. So fishing to me, it was his time. So we didn't really get the time to hang out. And so I was just like, I ain't going fishing. Got to sit around all day in the sun and maybe catch something and then come back smelly. Like, I'm cool on that. It's not my thing.
I see.
So when I was 14, my mom got me a job with one of my uncles as a construction laborer. I loved it.
Oh, for real?
Okay. It was amazing. I got to hang out with the guys all the time, got to be around people. They didn't treat me like a kid. They treated me like an adult. And the expectations were that of another coworker.
Right.
So there was a mutual respect that I got, and there was another community that was needed for me. And I got paid every Friday. Oh, like, shoot, 14 years old. Got me a $800 check.
Oh, yes.
No bills. Like, let's have some fun. But I also grew up a very strict household. So there was no just blowing money.
Right. Spending it just on whatever.
Willy-nilly. No. There wasn't any of that. And so I learned at a very young age that money was important because we didn't grow up poor, but we didn't grow up rich where you could just do all that stuff. And so I was like, I'll make some money. And then I started learning how to make money. And once you learn how to make money, you just kind of fit in where you get in. And so I had these guys at the construction site who were always asking for weed. And I had friends who had weed, so I just go get the weed from my friend. I go take it to the construction guy, make me some quick change. I'm like, here we go. This is great.
That's what you were saying, your rebellious years.
Oh, rebellious years. Yeah.
Did you use some?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Get
Okay.
high for free. that's
Okay.
that's how I saw it. I was
Uh-huh.
like, cool. Yeah, I'm either gonna charge you or I'm gonna take some of this for myself. Which one would you prefer? They're
Hmm.
like, oh, we'll just charge you. Cool. And I go buy my own. So yeah, one of the main reasons why I started to move products like that, because that's all it is a product, was so I can have extra money and I didn't have to pay for my own weed. Because for me, weed was when I first got high for the first time, I was like, this is how everybody else feels normally. This is amazing.
Oh, okay.
That's how I thought because I
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
so
Mm-mm.
awkward in my own skin
Yeah.
at a young age. Normal teenage stuff,
Mm-mm.
but we amplify things,
Yes.
and it's always a bigger problem than it
Oh,
is.
yes.
So the first time that I got high, I was like, this is how everybody feels, everybody functions, and downhill from there, down the rabbit hole from there, which taught me a lot. Taught me
Okay.
a lot.
And you're amazing because you say that with a big smile on your face. I just feel bad because I'm just like, oh, it was the worst time of your life, and you're like, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm a big believer that we don't need to escape tough times. I think that's one of the problems that we have in society right now is that it's too easy for most people.
Mm-mm.
And because it's too easy, our brains are always trying to make it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to make it difficult.
Mm-mm.
So I think that we need more difficult times. There's an old phrase, I don't know who started it, but it says, strong men create easy times create weak men create hard times, and hard times create strong men. So it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're in one of those cycles right now where we just got out of the easy times and we're
Mm-mm.
headed back into the harder times.
Yeah, and see, that makes me think of when you were saying, like, you started working young. It was the same for me because, I mean, being six kids at home, my dad always said, because your friends, they have like, you say spaargeld in Dutch. It's like money, like money that they're,
Allowance?
yes, allowance. And my dad was like, oh, you want €5 a week? It was like, if I give you five, I have to give everybody five.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, it's not five anymore. It's five times six. So, and then, I don't have $30 to give every week to you guys. Like, so it was like, if you want anything, you go work. And I was 14 and I started working little jobs, but, it helped me also understand the value of money, and just I've been working since then, and I was going to school too, but I always had like one student job, like for sure, and then I had like extras, and I would just find a way to always make money and make the best of my time. And but it's funny because with my husband we didn't grow up the same. His family wasn't rich by any means, but his mom was working extra hours just to be able to, give them everything, because my husband's dad wasn't in the picture. And so she had to fill both shoes, pair of shoes. But the problem with that is that he never had a student job. And so it's a different dynamic. And so, and for me, I'm just like every minute of every day, I'm just like, okay, on to the next, and doing this and doing that. That's how I was raised. I can't do any different. I get my off days too. Don't get me wrong, like where I just want to do nothing, but those are pretty rare. And so, that's also a dynamic that you have to make work together. But at the same time, right now we're talking about our son, like what are we gonna do? And I was like, well, we'll provide for him like the basic stuff, but if he wants crazy like extras, by any means, go make some money and buy it for yourself. And buying for me, like but I wonder if it's because I'm a female, but I wasn't made aware. Well, in your case, it was with wheat, right? But of like different like opportunities, like even investing. Even I could have at an earlier age, but like I remember one of my main teachers in class was talking about stocks and bonds and whatever, and saying, "Oh, it's good." For some reason today, my French is like taking over every expression that I have coming in, but it's like something that a good father would do, like of his family, to at least have like $100 in the stocks, which if you think about it, it's not a whole lot, but but he was saying because that is going to grow, you're going to keep making money. But he was really talking to the male students in the classroom, or at least that's how I felt that it was communicated. And so, he was saying, yeah, that's how like a man does. He invests and he, makes his money grow. And in my head, I'm like, dude, like I already have like 2 student jobs on the side. But, I for some reason, I didn't take that advice in. And, but I was saving a lot. And because also I was just helping my parents. And so, my stepmother would come at night in my room and say, hey, like, I can't pay this bill. Can you help? And so it was kind of always like under the table, like kind of not my dad not knowing, which is interesting because then every time that my dad was mad at me for some reason, or my sisters, they were helping too. He never knew any of that. And so the comments was always like, oh, do you think you're in a hotel? Like, and in my head, I'm like, dude, it's an expensive hotel, but, that's also part of, the stuff that happened in my childhood, that my dad is like completely like, he was blindsided, but he's still choosing not to really look at that part of what happened. All that to say that, I have a similar approach to money, but growing up with so much money problems, my goal nowadays is like, I don't care. I don't want to, yeah, if I'm a millionaire, I'm happy, but I don't have like a money number goal. But my only goal is that to just be able to go to the store, buy stuff, and not have to look at my bank account and be like, okay, are we good? Or pay the bills or buy something new, or I don't know, And I've been, since I moved here, and, I've been with my husband and stuff, that's kind of how we live. By any means, we're not rich, and we don't buy a whole lot of stuff.
So sponsor the podcast, okay?
Please do. Because I want to work on this full time. Damn, I'm so sorry. See, I just keep talking, but I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about the grocery store without having to check the bank
account.
account.
I feel like that, to me, that's quality of life. To be able to live without just worrying about money constantly. So it's interesting because I feel like you have the same like way of thinking of not especially like spending. Maybe you changed since you were younger, but of like kind of keeping it. And so did you have any other like ways that you were channeling your money? Like you said, you were like consuming a little.
Oh yeah, so I just went full on hustler after that. That's what we would call it.
Okay.
So the rule with my job was that I could work all full time during the summer. But that first summer when I got my job, my mom didn't think I was going to like the work. She was kind of banking that it was going to be too hard for me, so I was going to want to go back to school. Yeah, heck no. I was like, this is cherry. Like, I'm cool with this. And I see older men doing it, and they're supporting a family. So why not? My mom was like,
no, oh, crap.
Yeah, this ain't happening. And my uncle, he was like, hey, he's a good worker. And he's 14 now, so if he wants to keep on working, then I ain't gonna tell him not to. I'm not gonna fire him. My mom was like, yes, you are. I don't know if any of you guys have dealt with a crazy Hispanic lady. I don't have much experience with other cultures, but crazy Hispanic ladies, especially moms, they get their stuff done. And so she told my uncle, like, nah, you're gonna fire him. And my uncle was like, hey, I gotta fire you because your mom, she ain't playing.
He was honest with you, though.
Yeah,
okay.
He was like, I'd love to have you work, but I gotta fire you because your mom ain't gonna let you. She's not gonna let you keep on working for me. He's like, and I can't break that relationship. Right? He's like, but I tell you what, if you go to school, you can have a job every summer, and every break that you have, you can come work for me because you're a good worker, which is a value that was instilled to me when I was a kid. Like, you work hard no matter what,
right,
and you get your stuff done. And so every summer I had a job, and this was a good paying job at the time, right? Like $8-9 an hour as a kid with no bills.
Oh, yeah.
40, 50, 60 hours a week. To me, it was just hanging out with the boys. So let's do it. I get to ride in the truck. I get to hear people talk smack. I get to get exposed to things that I'm not ever exposed to. So let's have fun. And so I took the money from my summer jobs, and I'd flip things throughout the school year. So if homies had CDs that they needed to get rid of, you're trying to sell them each for $5, I'll buy all three for $3 a piece.
Hmm.
I can't do that, Nico. I'm like, cool, wait till the end of the day. I got the cash. So at the end of the day, they're like, hey, if you want to buy all three for $3, I'll sell it to you. Like, yeah, here you go, dog. Then I go sell them for $5. So I just
Yeah.
started learning how to
So
do.
you were smart. Where? Okay. Sorry, I cut you. Where do you think you learned that skill? Because I
Grandma.
mean, not okay. Not everybody, like not every 14-year-old can think like that.
Yeah, no, grandma. My
Okay.
grandmother was a hustler. I never saw her work a day in her life. But she wasn't doing anything illegal. She lived below her means, and she understood how to make money. And so growing up, she was a very prominent figure in my life. So I always listened to what she said. I always watched what she was doing, and I could see that she was making money in other ways, that she wasn't having to go to work every day. Part of it was my grandfather passed when I was 6, so she got his pension, but she was smart enough that she would buy tax lien properties, and then she would have someone fix it up for her, and then she'd rent it out, and that's how she started making money. And then, yeah, every once in a while I see her buy something, sell it for a higher price. I'm like, wait, you just bought it for $5. How come you're selling it to them for 15? She's like, because that's what they're gonna pay for it. I'm like, oh, and you do what with the $10? And she's like, put it in your pocket.
I love that.
I'm like, all right, cool. So that's where I learned how to hustle, was just little tricks like that. And then again, I was working when I was 10 years old, pulling weeds. And I'm like, well, what you got there? I saw people selling bikes for prices, and I just started picking up on it. But what was the things that everybody wanted, right? People weren't into bikes anymore, pogs and trading cards. Now they wanted to get bottles and alcohol, and who could get us pills, and who could get us cigarettes, and who could do all this. And because of my need to be accepted, that was one of the things that I struggled with as a kid, was not feeling accepted. Regardless of whether I was accepted or not, I didn't feel accepted. So I do things to make myself feel accepted by whichever group would accept me. Right? So when I was 14, I remember I went to a brand new school, didn't have nobody that I knew, but I got welcomed by a group of individuals, and guess what they liked? They liked cannabis. They liked girls. They liked tobacco. So guess what I liked? Cannabis, girls, and tobacco. Like, you guys like it, I like it too. You guys are my friends. I'm friends with you. Let's roll. And so that's where I started to learn how to really be good at utilizing the resources around me. Because I'm 15 years old, seeing people wanting to smoke prime times, these little like cigars, and I see them buy them for like $1, $2. I was like, oh, I could do that. And so I had an older homie, and I was like, hey, why don't you go buy me a pack of prime times? Because he was 18 at the school.
Okay.
I was like, here you go. Here's $6. Go buy me a pack of 20 prime times. He's like, all right, cool. Come back. $6. I had 20 cigarettes. I'd sell them each for $1.
$1. There we go. You made $14.
Made $14. Here, go buy me 2 more packs, bro. And then by the end of the week, I had extra money to go do whatever we wanted to do at the mall. I was already used to riding the bus, so if I needed to get around town,
you knew your way.
I just got on the bus. I got on this bus. I got on that bus. I knew where my family was at, so if I needed somewhere to go, boom, I had places to stay. And so that's really how I started to develop this entrepreneurial spirit, we'll call it.
Okay, that's so smart though. I mean, I don't. I mean, how do you say that? I don't agree with what you sold.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah.
But it's smart. So okay, I want to go back to, when you were young, we have like ideas of what we want to be when we're older, right? Which is interesting because I'm curious to know, because I feel like we're similar in so many different ways, but like, it's crazy. For me, when I was a little, I'm just pausing just because it's funny how it relates not at all to what I am today, but to my personality. So when I was young, I wanted to be a hairdresser, but a florist and a jewelry seller or maker at the same time, because I wanted to put flowers and jewelry in people's hair. what little girl says that? I mean, you want to be a princess or you want to be a
Yeah.
whatever. But, and so I was like, no, I wanted to do that. And it's funny because it relates really to, I'm all over the place constantly. And so, but I love it. And so, I wouldn't have it any other way, but I tried so many things too. And I think also in the quest of, being seen, being, loved and all that and recognized. And, but I feel like I finally found where I belong, which is, in the podcast world, or at least like however then it's going to transform, because I feel like it's really trendy right now, but maybe it's going to evolve in something else. But I'm really passionate about talking with people and learning to know them. But so that was kind of like where I saw myself, and then it evolved. Then I kind of like forgot about it, and then I wanted to be a lawyer because my parents split, and I wanted to understand that universe and how come that some stuff didn't happen or happened and all that. But then I realized that I really wanted to be that for my dad. I wanted to make him proud, and for some reason I feel like we're both part in that same generation where, at least for me, my parents, if I didn't have like a bachelor or like anything, or if I had anything less than that, it was not good. It was even crap. Like, and I was gonna end up being like a cashier at a store, which for apparently for my dad was the lowest of the lowest.
Okay.
But we need every job in this world, so. I feel, well, that's a complete different conversation. We do not go there right now. But all that to say that when I failed, because I failed my first year in law school 3 times, 3 years in a row. After 3 years, I was like, I think it is time to do something else. And by any means, like at that point, I stayed a year in high school, and then I failed 3 times my first year. So now I was in class with people 4 years younger than me. And I was like, okay, mind you, my sister that follows me, we're 4 years apart. So we were not following the same path because she also stayed a year. But I was like, damn, I'm almost with my sister. This is not okay. And so I was doing my research, and I found this like management assistant bachelor that I could do. They were saying that the outcome after your bachelor is that you have a 90% chance of getting a job in the 3 months after your degree, all that. So I was like, I'm going to do that. I didn't want to do that, but I did that, and I had my bachelor. And that's true. I graduated June 27. July 1st, I was starting at P&G, Procter & Gamble in Brussels. And I actually... I love challenges, and they first were going to hire me as a management assistant, and then they said, hey, that actually was fulfilled inside the company, but there's this job open, budget expert, would you like to do that? And mind you, during my 3 years of bachelor, I had 0 accounting because my accounting teacher was sick the whole 3 years. And so I was like, yes, I'm a quick learner. I'll do it. Yeah. And it was rough 2 years because I stayed 2 years, and then that's when I moved to the US. But at that point, I was kind of just following life and where it was taking me, but I wasn't feeling good in my career, or in my job skin, I want to say. And to the point that if I didn't meet my husband and stuff and moved here, I would probably have just moved to Africa. Because I wanted more in my life, and I wanted to teach, and I wanted to, be part of something bigger. And I just couldn't do in French we say métro boulot dodo, so it's like the cycle of going to work, sleep, repeat, the type of stuff. And so and then I moved here, and I was trying to find myself, and it's hard because my husband, he's like a photographer, videographer, graphic designer. He found his passion. And so when you live with someone that found his passion and you don't know what yours is, it's hard.
Oh, yeah.
And so I tried different things, and now I feel like I found myself. So, I'm super interested in knowing your path into your professional journey from whenever you were young, like the youngest you can remember what you were dreaming of becoming or doing, to today.
Yeah, that's a great question. And you said so much there. I'm trying to keep a...
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good, because you got a couple of different things that I want to build on.
Okay.
Right? You gave some great points, but I want to build on. I do want to make sure I answer your question though. The first career path that I chose was in 5th grade. They had a paper, and inside the paper they had this magic ball. Do you guys have those?
Yeah.
Like where you could kind of see the future. They had
Mm-mm.
one of those, and they said, "Put inside of there what you want to do."
Oh.
That was the assignment for the day, and I remember very vividly putting a black car, long black car, with the American flag on it, and then there was a guy standing there, and in the background on the car it said FBI. I wanted to be in the FBI. I wanted to protect the most vital person that was in the country, and I didn't want to be president.
Uh-uh.
I wanted
No,
I
you want
wanted
to
to protect the most important person
Okay.
in the country. So that was my first like
Uh-huh.
calling,
Mm-hmm.
where I was just like, okay, I think
That's what I want to do.
that's what I want to do. Is I want to go be an FBI agent, right? Because I always saw the FBI agents here in Albuquerque. There was a FBI office, and those guys used to come out. I got an uncle who used to work for them.
Oh,
So that's how I got
nice.
exposed to it. Because I remember we went by the office once, and these guys come out in nice suits. They look like the dudes that you don't mess with.
Mm-mm.
Very stern, straightforward, purpose in their step. And I was like, yeah.
Right. The
It's-
confidence.
Yeah, the confidence that brings. So that was my first thought. I do not like authority, though.
Oh.
So as I got older, I started to notice that when people would tell me to do things,
Mm-mm.
I don't even care if it's good for me. I ain't doing it. Like you're not gonna tell me what to do. I don't care who you are. Like doesn't matter. You can ask me, and I'll probably do it. But if you tell me, something in my brain just don't work like that. So that was the first career path. As I got older and I started participating in wrestling more, I saw that you could actually take wrestling into a career path. So then I wanted to go to the Olympics. My next goal was to be 18 years old at the Olympics wrestling. And so that's what I had dedicated time to doing. So fully focused on wrestling. After that, I was about 17, about 16 when I realized that dream, I hadn't done enough work to make that dream happen.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, what's the next best thing? And that's when I started to kind of drift, which you were talking about, that like back and forth. I call that drifting. And it's crazy to me that you brought up Procter and Gamble, because Procter and Gamble, from my understanding, is a business that's owned by a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. And Bob Proctor is like, a lot of my work I do within the personal and professional development industry, because it's a whole industry. I didn't know that. The godfather of the industry, his name is Napoleon Hill. Underneath Napoleon Hill, you have Bob Proctor. That's the next guy. And then underneath Bob Proctor, you got Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, you got Les Brown, you got a bunch of different other people who have kind of like expanded off of it. So when you just said Procter and Gamble, I was like, oh yeah, Bob Proctor. But Napoleon Hill talks about drifting. And if you guys are ever looking for a good read, Think and Grow Rich is a good one. But the next best one is A Conversation with the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And he literally sits there and talks to the devil on why that the devil has certain things in place for society. He's like, yeah, because I need you guys to keep on drifting. Because when you guys complete your purpose, when you guys find your passion, when you find your purpose, I lose all control over you. And so that was the bullet point that I had written in my head when you brought that up, because it's so important for us to find the things that we like to do. Passion, cool, but if you like doing it, it doesn't matter, even if it is a cashier. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We need every role filled, and everybody has a desire to do certain roles. Yours might be to own a grocery store, right? Because you've had your first experience at a grocery shop where you're a bag boy, bag girl, and that's how you got to know community. I got no clue how a lot of people come up with their dreams, but that passion is what you need to be pursuing. And it's hilarious to me how we as individuals believe the people who are around us who never pursued their actual passions. Like, they never pursued their actual passions. I wrote a book, and one of the main reasons that I wrote a book was because I heard my dad used to say all the time, I'm going to write a book one day, I'm going to write a book one day, I'm going to write a book one day. I bought my dad a tablet. I said, here, bro, you can write the book there. He never got it done. For whatever reason, I don't know. This isn't to knock them, but I was like,
No,
I need to get this done for us then. So that was my passion. So that's why I wrote the book, was so I can get that done. But I stopped chasing the dreams that other people had for me, and in chasing my own dream, which has created this purpose of speaking, being a keynote speaker, a consultant, serving people. That's where that came about, because it's all I've ever wanted to do, was protect people and serve people. And I found a way to do that without having to be in the FBI, because the FBI don't want me. They're like, nah, Nico, we're cool, bro.
Thank you, but
Yeah, after 14 and some of the stuff you've done, like we just can't have you as an FBI agent. I'm like, I can consult for you guys though. They're like, no, we got other consultants. So
I could see you be an FBI agent, or New Mexico is the home of so many like movies and shows and stuff. Maybe you can play an
there
FBI.
we go. There you
An
go.
FBI
Someone's
agent
watching
eventually,
that can
please.
get us into the movies. You got
Please.
two actors right here, right?
Yes. I would be a terrible actor. I would love to. You know what? Growing up, it's crazy because, see, for that, and I'm circling back to like your mom, keeping that in the back of her head and getting you into wrestling. My mom, bless her heart, but she, like me and my sisters, we always wanted to sing. Like, honestly, I feel like it's something that like, it's gonna haunt me. No, don't exaggerate, but it's like gonna be something that I wish I was able to sing, because I would have loved to be on stage and just like do a show like Beyonce. That, to me, I'm just like, I just love that so much, but I cannot sing. But my mom, bless her heart, she put us, like, she didn't see us a lot, and so at some point we were going to her place like every other Wednesday and every other weekend, but she still managed to like put us in what's called the Télévis. It's they had lesson, but it was to be part of a show to raise funds for cancer, you name it, different stuff. And we went, but you were part of a group, so technically if you didn't really sing well, you could get away with it. I'm glad, because it was terrible. But I love, for that, I love her so much, because she took us there. And it's making me emotional, because she took us there, even though we were terrible at it. She was like, no, that's what, they want to try. They want to do it. And I think that's where I got the taste of, you want to try something, just try it. Yeah. Just do it.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's crazy. But I lost my train of thought again. But it's life, right? It's just but I wanted to go back to what you were saying about no, we said shows, FBI show. Yes, I would be a terrible actress, but I think you have a shot at being a good actor. And so it's interesting how you said drifting, because I feel like we're similar again on that. Like, I feel like we've just like, followed the path where life was taking us, and it's like, oh, sure, yeah, we'll try that, we'll do that. But damn, I'm so sorry.
That's right. If I could throw in my 2 cents, that's a dangerous place. Drifting is one of the most dangerous places.
Why?
Because you have no clear course. Think about if you saw a ship that was just drifting at the sea. Would you want to get on that ship or no? Like, it's just going to drift any which way. It might go over here. It might go over there. There's a storm. It's not going to try to avoid the storm. It's just going to kind of float out there and just drift. I wouldn't get on that boat. Like, I'm not doing that.
But it's so fun, though. Drifting got me to try, like, I started my own sewing business, and, I started selling. I was at the rail yards and I was doing good, but then I was just like, so far that's been my problem, is I love trying new stuff. And, I see something on social media mainly, but I'm like, I see like a lady printing magnets, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Or she prints like sweatshirts, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do that. And that's like, when we moved to Edgewood, I met my mail carrier at the box, because she kept messing up the keys. I don't know if I had to meet her at the mailboxes. And then I see her with her personal car, and I love talking. So I'm like, how come you're delivering mail with your own car? And she was like, she was telling me I'm a contractor, And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And, I did a lot of student job as a mail carrier in Belgium. My dad is a mail carrier, and she was like, "Oh, you know what? There's a route open in Stanley, which was the town next door." And she was like, "Oh, it's a yearly contract for $100,000 a year." Nico, I was like, "I can deliver mail for $100,000 a year." And so, don't you know it? 5 minutes later, I was on my way driving to Moriarty because that was the main office for Stanley to ask for the
Form.
documents,
Yeah.
and then I was a contractor for USPS. I was not making 100. She was kind of she overpriced it a little bit because you had to like bid. That's how it works for the contractors, at least. That are called the HCR contractors.
Yeah.
Like it's out in the boonies. They just pay people. But so see, opportunities. Like my favorite movie is Yes Man. Like
Okay. See, so then I think we gotta clarify drifting because that's not drifting to me. To me, that's somebody who's always trying new things. The drifter is the one that's just like, oh, it doesn't matter. I
oh,
don't have the opportunity.
okay.
It doesn't
No, then it's
matter.
not. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go try to find a way to get it done. It just is what it is. The cards got dealt,
Mm-mm.
and I
But
don't
you
even.
were not a drifter either, then.
Oh, there was a time where I was drifting for sure because I was just doing what everybody else was doing and doing what everybody else expected me to do. Even though it was good ideas, it wasn't what I wanted to do. And you talk about getting the degree because anything less than a bachelor's
Oh yeah.
is death. I come from a very similar background, and we got to give it to them because at that time that they were in the workforce, yeah, a bachelor's degree meant something.
Mm-mm.
Today,
Yeah.
in the workforce, a bachelor's degree don't really mean anything.
Mm-mm.
And I have one myself. It doesn't. So even going into the next generation, right? I get to work around some young adults that are like 15, 14 years old now, and they're like, "Well, we want to do AI, but no one believes in." I'm like, "Bro, don't care what anybody else
Right.
believes. If that's what you know is gonna make you successful, then do it. Because what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You're gonna fail, and so drifting is where you're. I think you had said it in French, but it's just where you do the same thing over.
Oh yes,
and-
the circle of like what is it? Work, sleep, repeat, work.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and if you're not doing what actually drives you, and it doesn't have to be your job, if you don't have something that drives you, that's what I consider drifting.
Mm-mm.
And that's a dangerous place because if you're a drifter, someone's gonna pick you up to take care of what they need to take care of at the end of the day. And so I am a firm believer in doing what you feel passionate about, seizing those opportunities as they become, because opening and knocking on that one door is going to open up and knock another door. Earlier, before we started recording, I told you I'm not big on the, hey, how are you? Can I do this? Can we get that? Like, I'm just direct.
Right.
What is your process for selecting guests? Oh, just fill out this form. Cool. Form's filled out. What's the next step? Like, that's how my brain works. But even with that type of stuff, it's knocking on these doors, hopefully open up another door, right? Because again, we're two strangers. I got no idea who you know. You got no idea who
Right.
I know. We got no idea who's watching. But what can happen when you keep on pursuing it? Because at least for me, I know I need to sit down with people like you so they can ask questions so I can answer them and get thoughts that I don't even think on my own, right? Because in my head, I'm just like, nah, let's get the next thing done.
Yes.
And when we reflect, that's when we actually find out the reasons. One of the reasons why I could say that I started wrestling to get my dad's attention was because reflection brought me to that point. Like, why did I pick wrestling, bro? Ain't nobody around me was wrestling.
Yeah.
It wasn't like popular sport. It wasn't something that people did on the weekends. Like there wasn't at the community center a wrestling mat. Like,
Right.
so what made me do that? And that's when I started putting one and two together. And it gave us an opportunity it opened up a new opportunity. So that's why I think seizing each opportunity, regardless of how small, big, if it plays out or if it doesn't play out, is super important. And if you're doing that, then I don't consider you drifting.
I
I
see.
think you're drifting if you're just like, another day.
Right.
I'm not going to try to change anything. And I get that because for me, that's what talk about mental health and behavioral health. That's what addiction is. Like that's a pure form of addiction. You're not wanting to change anything because you're so comfortable in the situation. You found your solution. A lot of people think drugs and alcohol are the problem, and they're not. They're actually the solution. I'm just so smart that I figured it out when I was 15 years old. Is that good or bad? I don't know. But at 15, I figured out how to solve the problems that were going on inside of my head because of experiences, situations, things that were outside of my control. I figured out how to find a solution to it.
Mm-mm.
And so for me, I'm proud of that portion of it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're not ashamed of that?" I'm like, "Nah, fool. Drug addicts,
Yeah.
they found their solution. I found my solution. You guys just choose not to, or you guys want to go hide it. At least with mine, I'm open with it, right? Like, I'll go get the bottle. I'll go act stupid. I'll go get the drugs. I'll go act stupid. You guys hide off. Some people it's food. Some people it's spending. Some people it's relationships. There's all kinds of addictions that people
Oh, yes.
have, and then they hide them, and that creates that internal feeling of shame and guilt because they're hiding something. And then guess what? Everybody else can feel that. It's this crazy thing because just like we can feel the other things, we can feel when somebody's
Right.
being deceitful.
It's funny you say that too, because about the drifting and stuff, because something that was big for me at multiple times in my life, weirdly enough, and that's why I was telling you, or I don't know if it was off or during the episode, but I don't believe in a God. I believe more in like energies, law of attraction, and all that good stuff. But my colleagues, when I was working at a PNG, they were like, I always say 20 years older than me. Maybe they were not. Maybe they were like 15, because I feel like I always make them sound older. But they were like, yeah, they had kids that were like 7, 8 years old at the time. So yeah, they were like late 40s maybe. And I was in my early 20s. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And they seemed so unhappy. And maybe they were not. It was my like take on it, but all that I would see is them always just like complaining about, work, and always waiting for the weekend and counting days till vacation. And I was like, I don't want to be here in 20 years. I don't want to be them in 20 years.
Yeah.
And they were amazing women.
Yeah.
If they ever come and listen to the podcast, I love them. I just went back to Belgium over Christmas, and I saw some of them, and it was really nice to see them. But that was one point. And then even like at different jobs that I had or different people I meet, I'm always like, this is not who I want to be. This is not what I want to do. And I kind of like look at life sometimes with like kind of a step back perspective of, okay, I see. Like that could be like that. Like, for example, on another level, I look physically a lot like my mom. But my mom, she went through so much in her life. And she found comfort in alcohol. And because she changed a lot physically. And I was like, oh, this is what I could look like if I keep, if I become an alcoholic too, or, And so I feel like I've always had that. It's weird to say. It feels weird to say that. But that ability to, take a step back. And I feel like I'm in that one of those moments again in my life right now where I'm like, I'm super stressed. I'm gaining weight, and I'm like, oh, and then it's funny when what you were saying at the beginning of the episode, because maybe I need your advice too. Self-image, this is forcing me so much to be okay with the way I look. And the studio is amazing because for some reason it's just, that's why also I think it's been since my son was born, I didn't share anything on social media because I have such a problem with self-image. And I would like, and that's why also I don't share anything about my son, because I'm like, well, I have to take 20 pictures of myself to find one that I'm okay to share. I'm not going to share pictures of my son that I need his consent. He's too, that's not a whole other conversation. But why am I going all the way there? But just to say that with work, I feel like life always told me, okay, look, this is not like, this is a confirmation. This is not what you want to do. This is not where you should be or what you should do. And okay, and I wanted to circle back. I got back on track from earlier. You were saying about some people's dreams are to own a store or even be a cashier, but for some reason, society's always like treating people that are part of the service world like it's shit job. you're paid like shit. People treat you like shit. Pardon my French, and it's actually not French, but you know. And I love that expression because I'm like I'm actually French. Oh my God, Marie, French speaking. So probably I should say it in French, but might as well. And so
Because that's actually French.
yes, right. I should start doing that. That would be fun.
I like that. I like that idea.
But those jobs are so important though. And
which ones didn't get shut down when the pandemic happened?
Right. And like I love customer service and working at the post office. I'm in contact with people a lot. I love being in contact with people. And so that's why when sometimes I see people in that industry that are not happy looking, I'm just like, don't do that job, because it's so important to, feel a connection with people if you're part of that type of job. But at the same time, they're the low paying job. And so they're the easy ones to go in. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to, And I mean, I know someone that works at a Dollar General or one of those dollar stores, and she makes $12 an hour. And it's like, no, dude, this is not okay. Like, why in our society do we put so much, so little importance into service jobs and all that? I feel like that's my life battle. It makes me mad because then it just makes also, it wires people to feel like crap, because they're in a crappy, but I know what you're going to say because I make a point to not go see my guests' Instagram and stuff because I really want to learn to know you before your social media. But when you followed me, I followed you right away after you filed the intake form and stuff, and I went and I saw one of your videos and I was like, this is going to be an interesting conversation because the reel I saw from you was when you said, you don't have problems, you are the problem. And I was like, okay, I'm interested in knowing more, and I wonder if that's where we're gonna go right now. But
yeah, absolutely.
I'll take a break.
Well, think about this. We say that our world is so messed up right now, and when I say our world, the world that I've been exposed to, I haven't ever left the country. I've been to Mexico, I've been to Canada. Those are the only two other places that I've been. So I don't know too much other than what I see on the internet, right? What we have, though, in my opinion, is if it is a shit job, why are we going to have somebody do it? And if it is a shit job, that means that you really value money more than yourself. Does that make sense? Like you value your claim to value, I just got to do certain things. I understand you got to make payments. I get it. I've been stupid broke before. Like let's pull out the center console of the car. How much change do we got there? Let's go into the coin jar. How much change do we have here? All right, that's enough just to buy groceries for today. Cool. Like, we're going to make it, and we're not going to be hungry. Figure out everything else afterwards, right? But we value money so much that we will go do those type of things rather than take the risk and pursue our purpose. Right? Because each one of those people has a purpose. Each one of those people wanted to be the hairdresser with the jewelry. Yeah. They all had the dream, right? I think your dream is so beautiful because how detailed it was. You're like, I want to put jewelry in people's hair, and I want to put flowers in people's hair. So why can't I just sell all three? Like, that makes total sense to me. I get it. I'm like, oh yeah, heck yeah, let's get it rolling.
I know.
But for a lot of people, we say we don't care about money, but we'll put ourselves in situations where we're there, and then we'll get stuck there because that paycheck is just enough to not make you go broke. But we live in a community, at least in America, where even if you go broke, you're taken care of. Like, this is one of the only countries in the world where you really can't fail, and it's because the system is set up to catch you if you follow certain rules. If you don't follow certain rules, then you're gonna slip through the cracks. But at the end of the day, if I lose all my jobs, if I lose all my housing, if I lose all of my material things, there's programs in place for me to get.
There's in Belgium too, but I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah, so that's really what it is fear drives people so much that we will do things that in any other alternative universe you wouldn't be doing. Like if you could craft it inside of your head, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing right now. But because you live in such a bad place that you need to do that type of stuff, you're going to choose to do it. So really, you let your circumstances, your environment predict who you're going to be rather than creating who you want to be first and then going and pursuing that. One of the biggest shifts that I ever had in my life was asking myself, why am I doing what I'm doing? What is this that I'm doing? And I couldn't answer it. I was doing everything to make everybody else happy, right? I was going to school because I gave up a full ride wrestling scholarship when I was 17 just because I had anger issues and I didn't like being told what to do. So I said, screw wrestling, I'm done. And I started working full-time and selling drugs full-time. Well, I felt bad about that because my mom always wanted to have a college graduate as a son. So I went back to school to get a degree. I didn't care about no degree. The work that I do doesn't require a degree. So why did I go do it, right? And I use that as my personal example because I was doing things for other people rather than doing things for me. And for me, I love to sit and I love to talk to people. I'll go catch the bus sometimes, even when I don't need to ride the bus, just so I could talk to people. I love when people send me messages because then I get to talk to them for a little bit of time. But it's those type of thought processes that needs to be broken in order for people to be able to do what they do. Because the reality is, you're never going to be broke. Like, in this community, in America, you're never going to be broke. You may not have cash to go spend on what you want to go buy, but you're going to have food. You're going to have some sort of housing in America. So really, you're just scared to go pursue your passion. And that always turns back into an internal thing. And so for me, that's why I think everybody's their own problem. They don't have problems. And most of the time, if you could solve a problem, guess what? You're not that special. So if you could solve that problem, turn around and go sell it to the person who was dealing with that problem right after you. You gave them a positive because you shortened their time frame to get their solution and you earned some extra money. Like, solve your problems. Go face those things. Go choose your passion. Because at least for me, my passion is speaking. I love getting in front of a crowd. Like, I've spoken in front of 1,500 people and I point one way and all their heads turn one way. I was like, oh, this is too cool. Hold on. What else can we hold on, Nico. Like, this is a power that needs to be used for good.
I was going to say, it is a really strong power, and especially with what's happening in the world right now and how we reflect back to, like, for example, like Hitler, that was a incredible speaker. Like, aside of everything that he did, you know, he was a convincing speaker, and he got people to do the unspeakable. Yeah. So, yeah, that is a powerful skill that needs to be channeled very carefully. But, I
And
agree.
in that pursuit, I've been able to help out other people, right? At the end of the day, I got a call last week. They asked, hey, Nico, can you come teach a class on how to tell someone's story in 3 minutes? I'm like, 3 minutes? It's too long. Do it in a minute. And they're just like, what? I'm like, yeah. Because that's how I got trained. I had somebody who was like, Nico, you need to tell your whole story in a minute. And I was like, what you mean I need to tell my whole story in a minute? They're like, well, not like your whole life story, but the principles that you want to teach. Yeah,
like the chapters.
Yeah, you got to teach. You got to be able to do it in a minute. If you can't do it in a minute, then you're not worth anything. And I'm like, dang, all right.
Wow.
Cool. But these people are, one of my mentors is the #1 motivational speaker in the world right now. So when they have the results, you can do it, right? And I've been able to, in pursuing my passion of being a speaker, being somebody who can communicate, because it's not just being a speaker, it's communicating ideas and concepts that for other people they don't seem to like grasp. I'm like, oh no, here, this is how we could explain it to you. That's why I like teaching, because it gives me an opportunity to learn a different way to teach it to someone else, this one principle. But in doing that, pursuing my passion, I've gone broke, legit broke, stupid broke. But now I can use that same skill set to go earn money. So there's a valley that you have to go through when you're choosing your purpose. And I think that valley is what a lot of people are afraid of. And that's why they get stuck in these places, drifting places. I don't want to knock cashiers anymore. But
yeah.
But that's where you get stopped in it, because there's been times where I had to work overnight at Lowe's for a few months just to make sure that my bills were paid. and then still had to work my normal job, what I call my normal job,
Right. Yeah.
to make sure that my business is running in the way that it needs to run. And I think that's what, for me, that's why I love people, because I can see that. Like, even with you, while you're talking, I can see you get so excited about the stories, and it just gets so wound up that it wants to go back into your original language. Like, that's awesome, and I love seeing that. And when I see people doing that type of stuff, it gets me excited, because I'm like, yes, we're not crazy.
Right.
And you're not crazy if you're trying to pursue something that everybody else is calling crazy. You're not. That's just what you were built to do. Because if I don't speak on the topics that I speak about, there ain't nobody else that's going to do it. And for me, without getting morbid, people die if I don't share what I need to share. If I don't help the people that I need to help, people are dying. It's my responsibility. So it's your responsibility to go open that grocery store. It's your responsibility to sponsor this podcast. It's your responsibility to come do whatever it is that's inside your gut that's telling you need to do. Stop thinking with your mind, because your mind needs to come in and support your heart, your gut. When that happens, it's a beautiful experience. It doesn't come without trouble, though.
No, and I was gonna say, and
Like,
because you make it sound easy,
yeah,
and in a way it is,
it's
but
simple.
in a way, what I've experienced is that since I've been pursuing this, I have this like how do we call it, the resistance, you know, like from I think my brain is like, you know, the fear, the anxiety of, you know, oh wait, I should wait until I ask for sponsors, I should do this or I should do that, or should I really do this, or you know, right now I've talked openly about this, but I pay for the session, so right now it's costing me money, but it's not making any. And so, you know, at some point it's like, okay, well, you know, we're not rich, we're not poor, but you know, have a little money aside. But it's like, okay, we're taking from that money. We're taking from money that, you know, I could be spending for my son or for the house, or you know,
Investing from stocks.
or investing. Yes, yes, and maybe become a millionaire differently. But you know, it's like, and it's all that resistance. That's like the fear. That's like, don't go for it. Don't go for it. That's also what kept me from doing it for so long. And you know, or like, oh, people are gonna mock my accent. They're not gonna understand me. Nah, nah, nah. And you know, the stupid stuff that you think about. And I fake it because I lack. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can tell. If you can tell, I fake confidence because I'm like, I don't have it, but I'm gonna fake it until I make it, and it's fine. However, this is helping because since I started the podcast, I feel less attached to my physical image. Because it's not about that. It's about the message, and it's about, like you said, sharing and teaching, and I love that. But see, for me, I don't know if you have tips maybe. Like I have people around me right now, and I'm not going to name them, but that are like so stuck in their own ways, in their own belief, not beliefs like spiritual, but more like beliefs that they can't do more. They can't get a better job. They can't get out of the town they live in, or the environment they're in, that they just stay in the same habits and the same like food habits. And it's all feeding into that to me, that poisonous way of living, because it's just keeping them down. And it's hard because I really want to play that big sister role and say, hey, you know, like you should not eat that, or you should do it this way, or believe in yourself, get that job, or go look for something else. But I think that even though my intentions are good, I think I'm lacking the way of saying things, if that makes sense.
It does. And it ties back to what we talked about earlier, that communication is 80% actions, 20% vocabulary. You said a couple different things that I need everybody listening to highlight, because it's inspirational and it's applicable. You said you fake the confidence until you have it. Just so everybody's clear, I used to inject heroin, 60 cc's every day, multiple times a day, just to stay well. And well means that you're not going through the withdrawal symptoms. So I was a complete heroin addict. When I stopped using heroin, I started drinking up to 2 bottles every day. So I drink all day, every day. I only mention that because I didn't go to rehab, I didn't go to jail, I didn't go to any type of treatment centers. What I started doing was I started asking myself, what would somebody who doesn't do drugs do? I started pretending like I
Mm-hmm.
was somebody who didn't do drugs, and guess what happened? I stopped doing drugs. It was this crazy thing. I didn't change my neighborhood, didn't change my living situation, didn't change my job because at the time I was still working. The only thing that I changed was the way that I thought about it, right? And what you just said, I'm so glad that you said it because it shows that it doesn't matter what you're trying to overcome, you have to pretend like you're already done with it. Ooh, that's a line right there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
That's
line.
gonna make a good reel.
Yeah, yeah, that one is. I'm sorry.
No,
My
you
bad.
good. You
No, no,
good.
no. I just felt it in my spirit. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh shoot. And then when it rhymes too,
Uh-huh.
it makes it even
That's
better.
sweet.
But uh, you have to pretend like it's already done. You have to act like the person that you want to be. And it sounds cliche and it sounds like everything that the gurus are talking about nowadays. But there's a reason why they're all saying it. It's because it's true. Our minds are so powerful that if we can pretend that we're already in a place that we want to be, we will end up in that place. And so, for a lot of people, that fear comes from what is someone else going to think? What are they going to think? What is dad going to think? What is my sister going to think? What is my mom going to think? What is my partner going to think? What is my Thea, whoever's
Right.
influential to your life, what are they going to think? And I will share this. Who cares? Like, you are the problem again. It's not that you have a problem with what they're thinking, it's the way that you're going to receive that information. So who cares? Most of my family don't like that I talk about the stuff that I talk about. Like, they're not at that stage.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, it's not just about the drugs and alcohol. It's that you can achieve anything because statistically, for my numbers people out there, it was less than a 1% success rate that I had going the path that I chose to go.
Oh yeah.
And then we made it. Now, well, if I can make it out of that 1%, then I got to, as long as there's a 1% shot, I'm going to make it no matter what. And that's how
Mm-mm.
my brain works now because I always function as the person that I want to be, not the person that I am. And you asked, how do we get other people to buy into that? Well, we got to do it. So we have to lead by example. It's not telling somebody, hey, you shouldn't eat that food. It's, oh, you can eat that. I'm going to eat this. Not telling somebody, hey, you should go to the gym. It's, hey, I'm going to go for this walk. You want to come with me? It's leading by actions. And we live in a society where results actually matter, but results can be faked, right? Results can be faked so easily in today's
Mm-hmm.
society that you won't know if somebody did it unless you've done it. So I can tell when somebody's, oh yeah, like I can just sense. There's like a sixth sense that I get when I'm like, oh yeah, you've been through some things. I
Mm-mm.
like you. Like I can see it, I can smell it. There's a sense about it. And when there's people who promote those results without the receipts, we can see it too.
Mm-mm.
And eventually it comes to light. There's plenty of examples throughout history of people who have promoted results without receipts.
Mm-mm.
And so that's how we do it. We do it by being the example. And for me, one of my biggest things, I know you said, I'm really impressed that you moved from Belgium to America. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
ever lived outside of Albuquerque. Like, and that's one of the things that sits inside of my gut that I know I need to do.
Yes.
I know I need to move outside of Albuquerque at some point in time, but it is a fear. It is I'm comfortable. I, all right, maybe TMI. I haven't signed a lease in the last 10 years.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what that's like to go apply for an apartment lease. I don't know what that's like. I know what it's like to pay and have a place to stay. Like, that's everything's under the table with me. So even now, I'm just like, well, that scares me because then I have to prove my income, and then I have to show taxes. Like, all that stuff freaks me out because I'm not used to it. So if I go get an apartment in Texas, let's just say, I have to give them first and last month's rent. I have to show them my W-2s. Well, I don't work W-2s. I work 1099s. Like, I got to show them all that. Your last 3 months bank statements. For me, that's weird. That freaks me out. Even just now saying it, I'm just like, what? That's invasion of my privacy. Why do you want to know my numbers?
Mm-mm.
But that's very normal, right, for other people. All of the things that we are scared to do, we have to do because then it eliminates the fear for someone else to do whatever it is that they're scared to do,
Mm-mm.
right? My mentor, he's one of the top speakers in the world. One of my other mentors, he's one of the top personal development people in the world right now. And both of them are completely polar opposites, but they speak the same thing. do what you're scared to do and do it immediately. Because by you doing it, you're opening up the path for someone else. So for me, I never saw an example of somebody that I admired. Um, and because I never saw an example of someone that I admired that I could look up to, I followed the paths of the fragments of people that I admired, right? Like, I'm a guy. I like guys that have hot girlfriends, right? So when I was growing up, that's what I saw. Guys who had hot girls did this. So guess what I did? That's what I did. Guys who had money did this. So that's what I did, right? It was fragments. We never got to see the as you said earlier, we get to see the picture. We don't get to see what happened before and after that picture. And so as I started to develop, I was like, oh, no, I haven't ever met a man. I am a believer in God who loved God and had a good family. I'd never seen that, like, in my whole life. Like, they either say they love God and they had a crap family. And then I was like, well, that defaults because, like, how can you can't have both, right? And then I never seen somebody who had a loving family and had money. So I was like, well, there's got to be somebody out there in this world who loves God, who has a loving family, and who has money. And when I found them, I was like, oh, okay. My path is a little bit more clear now.
Okay.
And so that's how we're supposed to do it, right? You're going to overcome what you're going to overcome. Only because you just vocalized it, you're going to overcome this self-image thing. And hopefully someone puts inside the comments, you know what, you helped me out in overcoming my self-image thing. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help each other. Mine is a little bit more extreme, right? I get to get around people who are like, oh, yeah, Doc, I know what it's like to shoot heroin. I'm like, yeah, cool. Did you know that that same skill set that you used every day to get your drugs can be transferred into getting money in a different way? You have a wiring inside of your brain that you won't stop until you get that drug. Just transfer the drug to a different outcome. Because that's what I did. I just started saying, you know what, instead of going for the drugs all the time, I'm going to go get this outcome. And I won't eat, I won't sleep. All the same addiction behaviors go into place until I get the outcome. And now people praise me for it. They're like, oh, yeah, good job, Nico. You did that so quick. I'm like,
yeah, it seems so easy for you because it seems like that's how you wired. But I want to say it seems easy, but I don't want to take any power away from you and from you did it.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
The difference I think is it's simple. It's not easy because most of the simplest things aren't easy, right? And so it's very simple. It ain't easy. I get messed up all the time. Every morning I have to restart my day like, nah, Nico, you ain't gonna go do that. You're gonna go do this. And it's that redirection. And because I'm able to do that, I've been able to have experiences that I think a lot of people miss out on. And for me, that's better than any type of payment that I get. Don't get me wrong, I love money. It's part of our society. But when I'm randomly at a restaurant and somebody taps me on the shoulder and they're like, hey, I was at one of your talks and it helped me stop vaping. I'm like, hell yeah, bro, that's what's up. I was at one of your talks and it helped me build my relationship back with my girl. I'm like, yeah, bro, that's what's up. I was at one of your talks. I heard you speak. I heard you preach. I heard you do this, and it helped me in this way. Those are the moments where I'm just like, yeah, that's why we're here, is to guide other people.
I want to do that too.
You are doing it.
Yeah,
you are doing it. It's not you want to. You are doing it right now. We're in the midst of it.
This is the dream. It makes me emotional, but this is the dream. And, you know, I feel like, life is hard enough. For, you know, like you were saying, you never paid a lease or you paid your, like, where you stay.
I pay rent. I don't know what leases are.
Yeah. But, shit, like sometimes stuff that, you know, when I think back and, you know, but like you said, I feel like we're matched in that way on personality level because for me, I always face stuff also with a smile. Yeah. And to me, that's also what, like, you know, like customer services is, you know, that person can be just like yelling at you and so mad and you're just like, I'm so sorry, but I will do, you know, and you just with a smile and you still give the best customer service. And I try to apply that to my life, even though I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when I close the door, you know, then I'm a crier. So I cry a lot. And it's like, you know, that's my way of letting it out. I need that because otherwise I think I would go crazy. But And see, and my problem today is I'm going like a million different places, and then I'm losing myself. But before I forget, I wanted to mention, I don't know if you saw the episode with Lester, but it was something that blew my mind, and that also kind of shifted my way about thinking about the podcast too. Is that when I was looking, so the first two episodes were only audio. The first one was supposed to be filmed. For some reason, we're blurry. With my husband tried, we had a setup and we had the mountains in the back. It was really nice. We ended up being blurry. I don't know what happened. So I was like, it's okay. It's just going to be an audio podcast. Yeah. We did one episode, two episodes, and then I was like, the second episode audio was terrible. We were in like the back room of a bar in Edgewood. It was terrible, but it was a really cool conversation.
Yeah.
With Patsy, she's an amazing older lady and also crazy like life, whatever. But all that to say that after that, I was like, this is what I want to do. We need to take it to the next step. And then I started looking for studios, and that's how I met Lester. And I found the website, and I thought, this studio has been here for years, like, you know, I really thought. And then I contacted him, and he was like, yeah, let me just talk to my staff or my team, and then I'll come back to you. And I was like, damn, this is so professional, like, you know. And it is, but I was like, okay, there was back and forth, like he was actually literally talking to people in my head. And then came to actually know afterwards that he just opened the studio like a month or 2 months before I contacted him, and the team is him, you know, and his partner, but mostly him. And so, and I was like, what? But the confidence he had in selling me his studio, and, you know, in acting, yeah, like the CEO of his studio, and, you know, and it just blew my mind. And I was like, talk about faking till you make it. I mean, he made it. To me, he made it already. But it's like, okay. For some reason, it unlocked something in my head, because I feel like for a long time, probably forever, I've always kind of like tiptoed in, almost asking for, like, permission. I'm so sorry to be here, you know, but I'm here, you know, like, hey, I'm Marie, and I'm vibrant and solar, and, you know, trying to sell myself and be like, but I'm so sorry, I'm going to try not to be too loud. And then that happened, and I was like, no, I'm here, and I'm going to be loud, and I'm going to talk, and I'm going to, you know, share stories. And so thank you for being here.
Oh, absolutely. And I just I'm a teacher, bro, and I love when people talk to me about stuff. It gets me so excited, because reminds me, Nico, you're not. I think a lot of people get mixed up with the extremes that I've been in, and I sometimes wish I had a regular life so I could teach this type of stuff like regularly. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I wouldn't have this knowledge if I had. Yeah, if you didn't. There's two things that I need to point out in what you just said. One was that you knew what you wanted to do, and so you invested in it. I think a lot of people forget that you have to put your money where your mouth is. I've helped people for free drop drugs, drop alcohol. Guess what? Those are the people that usually ended up going back after like 2 years, 3 years. But the people who have paid me to help them stop, guess what?
Right.
They don't. You have to invest in yourself, and investing in yourself is one of the highest forms of self-love. Whether it's getting a podcast studio because you want to run a podcast, whether it's getting a gym membership because you want to change that, whether it is taking the course at continued education through UNM. All right. A little bit about me. My sister and I are very close now. I take her advice on a lot of things. She tells me, brother, you ain't got no hobbies. That's why you work all the time. I'm like, well, I love my work, so it's a hobby to me. She's like, yeah, but you also need some stuff outside of your work, because we were talking about dating. She's like, you dating anybody? I'm like, nah, I go to work, go home. Like, I'm dating nobody. She's like, well, probably because you don't go out anywhere. I'm like, where am I going to go? Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm not out here doing that type of stuff. She's like, that's not the only reason to go out, Nico. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
That is true.
I'm like, all right, sister. She's like, you need a hobby. I'm like, cool. She's like, you don't have a hobby. For like a few months, she kept on poking the bear, and I just got tired of it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to find a hobby. So I started salsa dancing. Yeah, I never learned how to dance as a kid, But apparently, when you look like me and girls ask you to dance, you're supposed to know how to dance.
You're supposed to lead.
You're supposed to lead. I don't know how to dance. Like you asked me to dance. You're supposed to teach me. Like, but that's not how the world works. Like, it's just not normal. So I signed up for a continued education class at UNM, $60 for 6 weeks, and I went and started salsa dancing. I hated it.
Oh no.
Absolutely hated it because I was uncomfortable. I was sweating the whole time. I wasn't good at it. And for me, I don't like being in places that I'm not good at.
That's not good. You need to go back.
Absolutely. But after week 3, I was like, no, Nico, you're gonna finish the full 6 weeks. So if you're gonna be here, then at least tell yourself that you're the best dancer. Like, because you are. In your head, you're the best dancer that you've ever been in your whole life. So you're actually winning. That small investment in myself, I continue to dance today.
Nice.
Like, I still pay him to go to the dance classes. I've created connections over there of people, and now my sister's like, oh yeah, you do have a hobby. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Thursday nights I go salsa dancing. Sunday nights I go underneath the stars. What's up? You want me to take my nieces dancing?
I love that.
Right? But you have to invest in yourself, and you have to take the initiative. There's only so much free you can get. When you're serious about something, you have to invest in it. So that's one of the first things that I wanted to highlight. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is that he didn't know if you were a professional or not either. You see what I'm saying?
I didn't think of it like that.
Like, he doesn't know if you are professional podcaster who has 1 million views per show, and this is his big break, right? So of course he's going to need to act at his highest caliber.
I didn't think of that.
Same thing for you. You didn't know if who we had come through here, but you needed to act in that way too, in order for you to elevate yourself to it. Because I'm a teacher, you have to act. Anybody that's listening that wants to make a change, because that's what I do, is I help people change. I don't care what your change is. I don't care if it's just want to change the route that you go home. Like, I can help you with that if you're scared to take a left instead of a right. To me, I don't, that stuff don't register in my head. But I can help you with something as small as that, to as extreme as a lifestyle change, right? In these changes, though, we have to act. Not even act. You have to expect that the end outcome is already there. He already expects to be a cornerstone in the podcasting community with his place. So he's invested his time, his energy, his money into it so that you can do it too. And you have to expect that same thing. I have to expect to be one of the top speakers in the nation. Yes. Might not be today. I honestly thought it was going to happen like a year into it. I've been at this for like 5 years. I thought it was going to be like a year, 18 months. I was like, oh, yeah, my story, it'll blow up real quick. Social media, viral, I'll be good. I didn't understand there's a whole psychology to teaching people. There's a whole psychology to sales. There's a whole psychology to getting people to buy in. And then there's a trust factor, right? Me, I'm trusting to everybody. Like, I don't care. Get in my car. Go ahead. Let's ride. Very few people can hurt me. So that's why my trust is very high, right? I don't have very much to lose. Those type of journeys are what's so important, because in my head I still expect it. I have to be one of the top speakers in the nation. Like, that's just what I have to do. I don't know anything else. But we have to treat ourselves with the end expectation in mind. So whatever change it is that you're wanting to make, expect to have that outcome, but also expect to put in the work for it. Like, put in the work for it. Invest in yourself, because that's self-love. It's not just, oh, cucumbers on your eyes before you go to sleep. It's, what are you doing to make yourself better? Because when you start to say that you're going to do something and then you follow through with it, your body keeps score. Your mind keeps score. And so whenever you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, your brain keeps score of that too. And that's where confidence reduces. So you're either adding to the confidence bucket or you're taking from the confidence bucket. And most people say they have an issue with confidence. It's not an issue with confidence. It's an issue with trusting yourself. You don't know how to trust yourself. So those are the two things that I needed to share off of that. Invest in yourself and expect the highest expectation of yourself, because that's the only way to be successful. And be obsessed.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because I feel like it's growing on me episode after episode. And the first episode we recorded here, I was scared to death because I was like, oh my God, like, I'm on camera. Because mind you, like growing up, all I would hear all the time is, oh, you look fat in this photo, or this, or your hair, or la la la. I remember when I was 18, I went to visit my godfather in Texas for a month. And the year before that, I was a student at the post office where my dad worked. And now that I think back about it, like all those my dad's colleagues, they were all like, I was the young at the time, 17, and they were hitting on me, but not really hitting on me. They were kind of like playing it off, but it was weird now that I think about it. And the year after, no, so I went in the summer, and then my family was big on sharing family pictures all the time on Facebook. And for Christmas, he shared pictures, and looking back, I'm like, oh, I look cute, like and but I had gained weight. I gained, I think, 10 kilos, so 10 kilos, so 20 pounds in that month I went to Texas. But American food.
Thank you. I was hoping somebody was gonna say it, because if you weren't about to say it, I was about to say it. Yes. American food.
Terrible. And one day my dad came back from work, like after he shared those pictures, and he was like, everybody at work was saying that, oh my God, Marie gained weight. And in my head, I didn't say that at the time. I should have. But I'm like, damn, you let all those old dudes like talk about me like that? Yeah. About your daughter that's 18 years old, like for real. And by any means, I didn't look fat or anything. Yeah, I had gained weight, but also, it's like, I don't know, I had late puberty. I don't know, it's like life. But all that to say, all my life I always heard, you're fat, you eat a lot, you do this, you do that. And so that's why the first episode I was like, oh my God, and I was trying to look at every angle, but I love this setup for some, like, it's making me look really beautiful. And then my husband Joshua was like, well, maybe because you are beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good man right there.
I know, I'm like, ah. And then I'm like, yeah, sure. But oh, I forgot again. It's okay. One more time. Have you always been confident?
No.
Would you like to tell us about your confidence journey?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Before I jump into the confidence journey, I think we gotta highlight what you just said there, because that's another teaching moment. In our society nowadays, if it's not perfection, we don't think that it's worth anything. And the reality is that perfection is a myth. Perfection is actually what's going to stop people from doing certain things. It's going to limit people. So I love tattoos. I love them. Like, I grew up around tattoo parlors. Like, first tattoo when I was 16 years old. That was another area where it was rebellious, right? But it wasn't as rebellious as I probably could have been. But I love tattoos. For me, a lot of the times when I've gotten tattoos, people are like, well, you're going to tattoo your hand? You're going to tattoo your arms? It's going below your forearm. It's going below your elbow, Nico. And, like, I got my hand tattooed when I was 20 years old. And people were freaking out at me. They're like, you're never going to be able to get a job. I'm like, I like it, though.
Yeah,
right?
It's you.
It's who I am. It's what I value, the things that I like. But for some people, they won't do things because it's going to eliminate that perfect image that they're trying to fit into for somebody who maybe doesn't even pay any attention to them. Because look at those guys who work with your dad. I bet you now they don't even pay any attention to the pictures. They don't got nothing to say. It was just a blimp talking point for the day, right? Like, we can't let those type of things, and I say we because I still struggle with it myself. Oh, Nico, you're not ready to speak, because one of the things that stopped me from speaking was I was like, who would want to hear from an old heroin addict? That was one of the limiting beliefs.
But everybody,
Okay, but my brain was like,
right.
Like, why would anybody listen to? I was a heroin addict. I failed. And they're like, no, you didn't fail. You actually messed up. You found your way back. Then you messed up again, and you found your way back from that. I'm like, okay, and your point? Well, people who have messed up before will get some hope out of what you're sharing.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, that's the idea of perfection will stop you from achieving the thing that makes your life perfect. And for you, that's whatever it is, right? I
Mm-mm.
don't know what anybody else is thinking. For
Mm-mm.
me, my life is perfect when I can get up and I could give a training, a teaching, a keynote, and somebody I can just see that the light goes off in their head, that they've been freed of something. For me, that's perfection. Even though I say I drop a F bomb and I might call somebody out, it is what it is. I can't do everything
Mm-mm.
to everybody else's expectations. So I wanted to highlight that. You had asked my journey on confidence. My journey on confidence, I used to be I still am a pretty insecure individual, but I know what my insecurities are. And so I know when they start to flare up and I know how to address them.
Okay.
Um, One of my biggest fears is to look like an idiot. Like I don't like looking like I don't know what I'm doing. So salsa dancing, I hated it because I didn't know what I was doing. They tell you move your feet this, and then you have to learn the cadence, and then you have to learn steps to the left and to the right, and they're not hard. They're beautiful steps, and then it's only 4 or 5 of them. So once you learn the 4 or 5, you're
Yeah,
good to
but as
go.
a man, you have to lead though. That I
As a
feel
man,
like that's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
hard part.
But that's even the best part because everything is your fault as the lead. So even if it's your fault, guess what the best thing about that is? You can solve it
Mm-mm.
because everything is your fault. So that means that everything you possess everything to correct it.
Mm-mm.
So even if you do a misstep, oh, okay, let me just spin you real
Right.
fast. You won't even know that I did this. But for me, my confidence really started back when I was about 26, 27. I was trying to figure out who the heck am I going to trust? Because I didn't trust anybody. You don't trust. No, I didn't trust my family. I didn't trust anybody. Just real paranoid state of mind
Okay.
because of all the drugs, the alcohol,
Oh, I
the
see.
mindset that I was at, the stuff that I was doing. Like it was just everybody was out to get me. The reality was I was out to get everybody. That's why I didn't trust anybody because anytime that I had opportunity to get over on somebody, I did it. When that shifted is when I started to one drop all the vices. So you got to be able to think in a clear state of mind. That's one of the first things. Two, trust in yourself. That's where my confidence was really built. I know that there's a difference between confidence and self-esteem. And confidence is the trust in your ability to do something. So I'm very confident that I can do almost anything. Reality is there's very few things that I won't be able to figure out and doing. I might fail a few times at it, but
Mm-mm.
I'll figure it out. The self-esteem is, I think, probably where my issues are more, and that's the joy you take in the capability of doing things. Right. So confidence for me, I started building confidence when I was like, you know what, Nico, today you're not going to drink until after 12. And then I didn't drink until after 12, and I was super excited. I was like, let's celebrate. Let's go get a drink. that's
Yeah.
that's how my brain worked. Cool. And so I did that for like a week and a half. And I was like, you know what? I wonder if you will go until 5 o'clock. Can you make it? And so that first day that I made it to 5 o'clock, I was super excited. And my confidence started to build little by little. And I use that as an example um, because anybody can do that, right? I don't know what it is that's in the change that you want to make in your life, but can you start small, trust yourself to build up to that point, celebrate however you need to celebrate, because that's important too,
Mm-hmm.
and then push it a little bit further. If you're wanting to save money, can you save $1 in a week? Oh, what's $1 gonna do, Nico? The dollar ain't gonna do nothing,
Mm-mm.
but it's gonna build trust in yourself that you put that dollar aside and you didn't touch it, even though you wanted a polar pop because it was 107 degrees outside.
Right.
Like that's how my confidence journey changed. And there's been moments where it's gone completely up and I could take on the whole world. And then there's moments where I face things and I'm like, oh, heck no, what did you get yourself into, dude? Do you have the ability to do this stuff? And then I have to remind myself of all the other things that I've overcome. And right now I'm on one of those downward slopes because my confidence got really high. And then my homie was like, hey, Nico, you need to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, in order to get to the next stage that you want to get at, you got to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, but that's all stuff I don't know how to do. And
Oh.
he's like,
Figure it out.
Figure it out, bro.
Yeah.
Use that muscle, that figure it out muscle. And as you use the figure it out muscle, you begin to build confidence in yourself because you have figured it out. So that's a short synopsis of my confidence journey. Wrestling, I wasn't confident until I started winning some matches. And then after I started winning a couple matches, I was really excited about it. I thought I could win a whole tournament. Win a whole tournament. That's awesome. Great. Now I think I could win the state title, right? Like it just builds based
Right.
off of the little things that you're doing. Those are small examples. I really enjoy working out. I enjoy it because it's one, it's a way for my brain to escape. Two, it gives me a little bit of a high that I used to feel back
Oh.
when I was getting high because
Okay.
the brain chemically releases certain
Just,
things, and so I enjoy it. But the other day, one of the guys that goes to the gym at the same time that I go out, he's like, "Hey, have you tried the 100 pounds on your incline?" I'm like, "I ain't doing no 100 pounds on my incline dumbbells, bro. You're tripping. I don't think I can do that." He's like, "I think you could." He's like, "You're doing 85s for like 15 to 20 of them." He's like, "If I do 3, will you at least try it?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'll at least try it." So he got there and he did 3. And so I grab him. I knock out like 12. But I like that because when I first started working out diligently and consistently about 18 months ago, when it really, like, I made it part of my routine, I could barely get 50s up in the incline, right? But little by little, I started building my confidence inside the gym because I was moving certain weight, and then it became easier. So I had to up the weight a little bit more. It's the exact same formula for building confidence in any type of industry, any type of niche, any type of venture. You got to start small, and then you got to build a little bit more, a little bit more. Because you got Stanley right now, but next you're going to have Moriarty as your whole post office contract, right? Like, that's how my brain works. When I see people do those little steps, those little steps, those little steps, I'm like, oh yeah, then you can do a big step. Right now I'm working with a fighter because normally my work is within behavioral health. I have a rule that if it's a principle, then it should be able to work in any industry. Like if it's worked for
Yeah,
this, then it
should
should
be
work for
able to.
that. Transfer it. So I've been working with this fighter, and I have no idea, like, structure-wise, what my method is. I just know when I hear things, I tell people to do things. That's just kind of how it works. This fighter, I was like, have you visualized the fight? Because I'm big on living the experience before you actually experience the experience. So for me, it was like, what do sober people do? What do people who don't do drugs and alcohol do? Well, let me pretend to do that until I'm actually somebody who does that. So I have them go through this visualization of the end of their fight. What's the end of your fight going to look like? What do you mean, what's the end of my fight going to look like? Well, you said you want to win the fight, so how are you going to, like, it's not just get in there and
Right.
throw some kicks and punches. Like, you got to have a strategy at least. They're like, oh, I didn't think about that. I'm like, okay. Well, that's where we're going to start, is with the end, and then we're going to reverse engineer to where we're at right now. I gave them an assignment that for 2-3 minutes every day, you need to visualize the end of your fight. They hated me. They're like, this is annoying. This is stupid. Why are we doing this? I'm like, because I asked you to. Like, I don't need to give you any explanation. Right. I just need you to do it. Cool. 3 minutes. I was like, how's the 3 minutes going? Oh, it's becoming easy. All right, cool. Now we're at 7 minutes then. Right now I got this individual at 10 minutes of sitting down and visualizing the end of their fight, the sound, who they're going to look at first and foremost when that fight ends, what is going to be the final punch. Is it going to be standing? Is it going to be on the ground? We have it all mapped out. Their confidence in this fight being won has increased just by that little chunk getting added onto it. So that's how, for me, the confidence journey has been, was learning how to trust myself, and then little by little trusting myself to go further and further. But then on top of that, enjoying the fear of it, because it's scary and it gets nerve-wracking. And for me, I get like bald. I'm bald, so I'm sweaty. I don't know if you guys know that. This isn't by choice, but I get really sweaty, so I'll just drench in sweat, and I hate that feeling because there ain't no way of hiding it. Like, I ain't got hair that can be like, oh, all right, like, let me just comb my hair back. Like, nah, I gotta get my shirt, and I'm like, oh my goodness. People are like, you're in a professional setting and you're sweating. I'm like, I'm nervous as all get out right now. Even in some of the contracts that I gotta negotiate, I'm like, we're talking how much money? And I can't get spooked by it, because then they're like, oh, you haven't ever done it. you just gotta.
Right? You have, yeah,
You,
again, take it, yeah.
they're gonna be like, what? It's like my younger homies that they're like, they get all infatuated over girls. I'm like, bro, you gotta act like you've been around hot girls before, homie. Like even if you don't, even if you're excited, act like you've been
Right.
around them before, because if you act shocked, they're gonna wonder why you're shocked about them hanging out, and then it's not gonna work out,
Mm-mm.
bro. You need to act like it's already there. So that's where the confidence journey has come from.
Nice. See, it's funny because when you talk about fear and stuff, it brought me back so many like different events. Like before I met Joshua, my husband, I stumble upon The Secret, the book,
Oh
whatever, about
yeah.
the law of attraction and all that. And then like one of my favorite actors, Jim Carrey, and I actually
Mhm.
learned that he was talking a lot about that.
With his check.
Yes, and yes, I feel like nobody ever knows about that story, but so I heard a story about his check and all that, and he was talking about manifesting, and at that point there was a really big lottery thing going on in Belgium, and it was 53 million euro, and so I was like, I'm gonna win that. I didn't, but I was like, I'm gonna win that, and I was super confident, and I applied everything to a T, and I was like, okay, and so I'm playing, like I'm writing all my numbers, and then last minute though, I didn't play my numbers. I played other numbers. I don't know why. I just, for some reason, I was just like, no, it's not gonna work, and I just played other numbers, and then I will never forget because I was at a friend's house, and I was all like, I was in the whole thing, teaching everybody about the law of attraction and how they need to change their habits, because at that point, my best friend, she wasn't my best friend after all, but she was so negative. Everything in her life was always negative, and she was always like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss the bus, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And guess what, every time she was running for the bus and she was like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna miss it, she would miss it, because she was already in that mindset that she missed it. And I was trying to shift her mind to thinking positively, to see the glass half full instead of half empty, and just, be like, no, it's not, life is not meant to be hard or difficult, or you're not just going to be overweight your whole life. You can change and do things and do this and that and this and that. And then we were watching the results. Guess what number came out?
Your number.
My numbers.
Yeah.
Like every single one of them. I would be millionaire right now. And I don't know, I let fear get the best of me, and I was just like, no. And even though, like, I could have still played, it was like, I think €3 a ticket, I could have played it. I was not broke at the time, or, by any means, and so I was like, see, and I was showing everybody, and everybody was shocked and mad at me, because they were like, damn, we would have had a millionaire friend, which at the time, funny enough, all that group of people were actually taking advantage of me, but so that brought that example back, because I was like, yeah, see, I had multiple times in my life too where I feel like life told me, hey, knock knock, like, believe in yourself, trust yourself, like, you can do it. And I think we're stronger than we think we are in so many different ways. But yeah, fear is a big factor. And yeah.
If I could just highlight a point there, I love talking to people. So thank you so much for this conversation.
Of course.
Self-sabotaged. And how many times as human beings, I'm sure everybody that's watching has an idea of a time that they've self-sabotaged. I got thousands of times where I've self-sabotaged in my head, even though I've done everything that I needed to do to get the outcome that I wanted. It's there, and I'm the one who said, no, I don't deserve it. And that self-sabotage comes from a self-worth, where it's just like, nah, I don't. Well, I think that, my opinion, humble opinion, either comes from a self-worth that we don't think we're worth the outcome that we claimed we wanted, or we don't think that we can sustain the outcome that we claim we wanted. Those are the two reasons why I think, at least for me, self-sabotage happens. Because, imagine you just put down those numbers. And when you said €3, you could have just bought 2 tickets.
Yes. That's gonna be
Right?
my life regret.
Well, I hope not, but
No,
because
no,
I
but
hope that it's like a lesson
right? Yeah.
that it works, because that's a beautiful example right
Mm-mm.
there. Like it works, but you
Mm-mm.
have to be so focused on it.
Mm-mm.
The other thing is that The Secret was written by Bob Proctor.
Oh, for real? There we go.
Yeah.
See, full circle again. And
Yeah.
you know, another full circle is when I was in Belgium, I love salsa. And that's something that's going to match with Lester too. It was so funny because I love dancing so bad. And so when I was in Belgium, I used to take salsa classes and it was in this bar. It's called the Cartagena. It's in the center of Brussels. And so it's in the bar and it opens, no, it's opens, oh my god, Marie, it opens for the class an hour before the bar actually opens. And so you go, you take the class, and then the bar opens and all the like regular customers, they come in and you can dance and you dance with everybody.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, fabulous. I love salsa, bachata. I just my husband doesn't dance at all. So I'm like, I thought, like, I had visualized for my wedding, for our wedding, that we would do like a flash mob or dance salsa, whatever. No. And even though he's in Hispanic, it was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But that's kind of still my secret hope that someday we can take salsa lessons. Even though, damn, we live in Edgewood, we're so far from Albuquerque. But I just love that. And Lester's story is crazy because he did meet his wife there too, dancing salsa. So I just love that. So you never know. But but also the funny thing is, like dancing, I don't like singing. I don't think I'm a great dancer, but I don't care. I just love it so much. And so, and even like on the way to the podcast, I always blast my music and I'm just like shaking out and dancing and it's funny because every time for some reason I managed to have people like stop next to me, or they're like waving, or they're like laughing at me. I'm just like, I'm doing my thing, leave me alone, you know. But I remember that too because I always thought, "Ooh, people are gonna laugh." But one day when I was younger, I was walking to the store with my sister, and we saw a guy like that dancing in his car. And you do what teenagers do, you laugh, you know, like, "Oh my god!" And then, but from then on, though, I was like, "Well," we laughed, but it made our day, though, because then we were just like in a good mood the rest of the day. And I was like, "You know what? I'll do that for people too. I'll just make a fool of myself and make people laugh." And again, we went to different million places. But I'm so happy that you dance, and you should. I'm happy it's your new hobby, and maybe I'll come to some classes sometimes.
Do it up.
I miss dancing so bad.
No, it's a interesting, even with dancing, right? I can see it happening because I've been dancing 6 months now, maybe. Like I'll go out and I'll dance, but I can see it in other people exactly where I was at, right? Like they're just starting the class, they're super nervous, they don't know what they're doing, and it's scary.
Mm-mm.
It's super scary, and I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
But the best feeling was when I got it down and I was able to go out in public, ask a girl to dance,
No.
take her to dance,
Uh-huh.
not step on her toes. She didn't look at me like I was crazy, and it ended and everything was good. I
Nice.
was like, what the heck? This is an amazing feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all I had to do? This is it?
There we go.
But that's the stuff that we need to do more of. Because even think about it. As kids, we have these ideas of what we want to be like, right? And why aren't we? And usually it's because somebody told us that we can't.
Yes.
The fear of someone else is what's stopping us from achieving what it is that we want to achieve. But in doing that, we really value people's opinions more than we value our own. And when you tell your brain that you don't value its opinion, it's going to stop speaking to you. Your conscience is going to stop talking to you. Whoever you believe in, universe, whatever it is going to stop talking to you, because it's going to be like, every time I nudge you to go do that, you stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like anybody else. If I'm texting somebody and you stop responding, I'll maybe send 1-2 follow-ups and then that's it. But we can't wonder why we aren't getting the directions, why we aren't purpose driven when we don't listen to the stuff that is presently available
Yeah, to
to
your
us.
inner voice even.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Why? If you're not listening to yourself on filling out the lottery tickets with the numbers,
I know.
with the numbers
I
that you've been
know.
practicing,
I
I
know.
get it. I really do. And I think people are going to do one of two things. They're going to be like, oh, see, it's not real.
Right.
It's just a made up story. Or they're going to have the person who's like, nah, it is real. And I can do it. I just need to overcome that last fear. This neck tattoo that I have, I just got it a few weeks ago. And I love tattoos on neck. I love tattoos on like everywhere. My goal is to die with my neck all the way down to my toes.
Oh, okay.
That's my goal. Is when I die, I want to be completely covered. I mean, completely covered, minus the glutes. Like that's about the only area that I'm not gonna tattoo. You know, whitey tighties, and that's about it that I'm not gonna tattoo. All right, but no, thighs, all of it. My mother, I wanted to get my neck done when I was 17, 18 years old. I was just gonna go tattoo my neck. I didn't really care, but I love the way that it looks. Right. My mom, she knew that I was gonna go get my neck tattooed. I had saved up money for it. I was telling my sister about what I was going to do. My sister was like, yeah, you look cool with the neck tattoo. I don't really like people with neck tattoos, brother, but I think you would look cool with a neck tattoo. I'm like, yeah, sister, I'm going to look tough, huh? She's like, yeah, you can look super cool. My mom was like, son, I don't want you to have a neck tattoo. So here's what I'll do. I'll give you $1,500 in my will for when I die, you can go get your neck tattooed. I was a deal. Give me $1,500. I'll wait. Like, to me, that was a big thing, right? I was about 18 years ago. And this year I was like, Nico, you really want your neck tattooed, so what's stopping you? And then in my brain was like, nah, you got that $1,500, just wait. You don't have to spend no money, just wait until your mom dies. I'm like, how messed up is that, bro? Like,
It's a little messed up.
Like, that's how much you care about money, dude? Like, you ain't gonna do what you want to do. That's how much you care about.
Well, you had a little respect too for your mom not willing for you to do it until she was gone.
A little bit, but my mom don't like none of my tattoos.
Yeah, okay, that's
She's
fair.
one of those ladies. She like when I got my first tattoo, she started crying. Why did you do that to the body that I helped make? And I'm like, it's my body. What you mean?
Yeah, my dad always said, if you guys have a tattoo, I will paper sand it off, and a piercing, I would like.
Super glue it, all that old school stuff. I got you. I got you.
And then I moved here, and he's 8,000 miles away, and I have a tattoo.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what, Nico, you're just gonna go tattoo your neck because I was so scared of it, right? And then for me, with the industry that I chose, the work that I chose to do, most people don't look like me.
No.
Most people are, and I've done it. I've done
Too
this.
bad though.
Oh, I know it's to my advantage now, but. I've even done the sports coat on my website, and I'm like, that ain't me, dude. Like, I like collar shirts. I like dressing decently, but I ain't gonna pull up to no event in a sports coat. Like, you can catch me like that. You can catch me with a pinky ring, a collar shirt, and a chain, and that's who I am. If you don't like it, it is what it is. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go get my neck tattooed. I called up one of the guys that owns a tattoo shop. I was like, hey, bro, I got these two ideas. You want to do one? He's like, I'll do this one. I'm like, cool, pick it. He's like, what? I was like, you pick it and just blast it, because I was so scared to do this that I had to overcome that fear, right? I was scared to be who I love to be. My own self-sabotage stopped me from even accepting what I like. And that's death. To me, that's death. Like, that's a horrible way of living. You got to do within brains, within, like, don't hurt anybody else.
No, yeah.
But you got to do what makes you happy. To a certain extent.
Yes.
To a certain extent.
I feel that so much. And so, okay, I wanted to ask you if you wanted to give us a little tour of your tattoos.
Yeah, absolutely. Pick one.
Oh, I want to know about all of them.
Okay, we'll pick one you want to start with.
Okay, which one was your first? Did you say it was your hand tattoo?
No. My first one was a rose that I got tattooed right here.
Okay.
On my shoulder.
Why? Oh, I was thinking of one that I saw earlier. Oh, why that eye?
The eye? This used to be my favorite vein to inject heroin into.
Oh.
So I used to have scars all on my veins, track marks, and two reasons. One, to cover up the track marks. The other one is to remind myself that there's always someone watching now. Because of the choices that I've made, there's always somebody watching. And the reality is, there's two sets of people that are watching me. One set of person is watching me like, oh yeah, we're just waiting for Nico to mess up. Like, it's only been 5 years. He's gonna fail at some point in time and go back to drinking and go back to using drugs because that's my habit. That's who I am, right? And that's the history that they know of. So I can't judge them for folk for thinking that way. The other person that's watching is the person that's like, yeah, if Nico can stay sober, then I can actually try to get sober. So those are the two people that I think are watching me, and that's what the eye's for. To remind myself that there's always someone watching.
Well, before I ask you for another one, I want to say first, that first type of people, fuck you. I mean, you know,
Pardon my
non-French. Pardon my non-French.
Pardon my non-French.
I'm just, you know, it just makes me mad because there's always it's always like that, right? And the thing is, sometimes I watch a lot of like vloggers, mom from Belgium, and what pisses me off is that most of the time, I mean, I only watch their content, what they share. I don't really look at comments and stuff. I don't really care. I have a TikTok for the studio, but I just go post and I leave. I'm not into that TikTok thing. But every time that they take like 10, 15 minutes, like talking about the haters and people that say stuff that I don't even know about because I don't go look. And I'm sure that 90% of people that follow them don't even know about those. They just feed into the haters and the comments, and they're like, oh yeah, but see, whatever Pedro said, really wrong name. Shoes is probably like an old lady that's like behind her computer. That would be, but all the names that come to my head, and our French one, like Janine, that's like a old French name that would be in, like, you know, behind her computer being like, why would you put the spotlight on those people? I'm just like, so yeah, but I know they're in the background, and of course they want you to fail. But so yeah, who do you choose to give importance to? Those people that just are waiting. One thing is like eating popcorn, waiting for you to fail, or the ones that are cheering you on and being like supportive and believing in you, you know. But again, then we go back to self-sabotage and self-sabotage. I was trying to find another word on top of it, but that's it. So yeah, I'm number two. I'm not sure to say number two, but I'm that second type of people. I'm gonna always cheer you on and push you, because I think it's extraordinary what you're doing is, you know, sharing your own experience. It's not easy. And I wanted to say too, you know, before I started the podcast, I talked to a couple friends about it and kind of like pitch in my idea and say, hey, I want to do long form. I want to talk to people. And one of my friends, I stayed on the phone with her a long time talking about it. And she was like, you know, she didn't say like exactly like who are you, like why would people listen to you, but basically that was her message. And she was like, I think you should start with an episode about you, telling your story for people to start knowing you. And I was like, at the time I wasn't ready to share my story fully yet. And so I was like, I don't think so, because for me, I love talking and I want this to be a conversation. That's why I want, you know, you share, I share, and it's kind of like it bounce, you know, it's not, I don't want it to be an interview and be like, okay, next question, you know, that I don't like that. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to make an episode about myself. I'm going to just like give a little piece of my life every episode. And to me, that's also what makes it special, because like I had her name is Mirasol. She was, I think, episode 7. She is Filipina and she went through a lot of trauma growing up. Her parents are deaf and mute, and she took care of them, and she was abused by her father and by family members. And I didn't know that about her. And so we were talking, and so that got me to open up and talk about my rape and and stuff that maybe talking with you, I could mention it, but it doesn't come naturally. But in, that type of conversation, it comes, and it doesn't define me anymore. But, I feel like that's why I don't want to be like labeled. like a rape victim or abuse victim growing up, or a big sister. Like I'm all those things, and I think people forget that too. And then I wanted to say one more thing about social media really quick. You know how you were saying about perfection? I feel like also people right now focus on social media. It's kind of the new Tinder. You know, when on Tinder you see someone that didn't really match or fully match, so you're like, oh, next, 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 and it's so easy to just move from one person to another. I experienced that a lot in Belgium, and I'm not gonna say too much now because I want to dive into your, if you don't mind, your personal life after that, but your sentimental life after that.
Yeah.
But I went through a lot of like first date, and then I'm a lot sorry, but after the first date, it was like, oh, no, next, no, next, and um I was next a lot. And but, you know, it's okay, it's the way it is. But I feel like with social media right now, it's kind of the same principle where we see the end result of people's lives, people's company. Like I see that magnet lady that makes like $35,000 a year, not more than that. I don't remember what numbers, or a month, making magnets, and I'm like, I can do that. Like the same reaction I had with when the lady said delivery, that contract is $100,000, and I'm like, I can do that. I'm impressed by numbers a lot in my life, I feel like, but but because we only see the end results, right? Because we only see the highlight of people's journey, we forget that the journey can be hard or can be challenging, but it's beautiful, and it's also mostly about the journey more than the end result.
Absolutely.
I say so much more, but I'll
Oh, please
send it back to you. No, but see, and right now I want to work out. I feel like I have this new passion in my life that I want to work out. I don't have a like body goal, but I want to be fitter, and I want to feel better. I feel tired all the time, and I have tired issues, so it doesn't help, but it's like, you know, and I'm like, no, I think it's a time in my life where I want to look better. And not just for the image, but for me. And but I've tried so many things. Like I've tried following like YouTube videos and stuff, and I tried like taking the Zumba subscription for a year that just ran out, and I didn't Zumba a lot, but I did a couple times. And so I feel like now I'm at the point in my life where I feel like I need to get a gym membership and get a coach, because if I just get a membership, I'm just going to be like a million other people that just have a membership. We see you and never go, you know? And I don't want to be that person. But then I'm like, a coach, I'm like, my extra money right now goes towards the podcast. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. So, you know, I'm just a little lost. But I feel like I need someone that's going to be like, go, 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 you know? And I need a program. I need something that's like tailored for me, or someone that's going to push me and put me like, how do you say that? Keep me accountable. I'm hot. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I go a million places.
It's all right.
And I'm really, you were saying, oh, attends, I wanted to ask you, you were, see? My brain is a mess right now. Earlier, you told us about your head, and you said it's not a choice.
Yeah. If I had a choice, I'd grow hair. But I can't grow hair on the top of my head.
Okay. Oh, so you can't. But it's not like a medical condition? You don't have a medical condition or anything, or do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there probably is a medical condition that they come up for people being bald,
Oh.
but I think that.
Do you have to shave it or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I don't shave it, I have a cul-de-sac. Eee. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, the little.
Yeah. I don't say I got that.
Okay.
Like after 2 days, I can start to see the hair growing out on the side of my head, and I'm like, no, that just
okay.
looks gross.
Mm-mm.
And there was a time in my life where I didn't know how to shave my own head.
Okay.
So I would go like 2 weeks before I go to the barber, and this thing was just long and gross. And I'm like, what?
So were you always like that, or did you have hair when you were younger?
Oh, I had hair up until I was 22, 23.
Okay.
And then I started really like thinning. And by the time I was like 24, my buddy was my barber. And he's like, I'm shaving your head. And he just started shaving my head. He's like, you're bald, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Accept it, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, what the
But it suits you, though, honestly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think hair would suit me better. But, you know, we always want the things that we can't have.
Right.
So, yeah, no, I think that, yeah, it's not by choice that I'm bald.
Okay.
if I had a
I
different.
mean, you could own the. In French, we call it a tonsure. It's-
I like the way that sounds. So tell me
Voilà.
more. It's a tonsu. I
Une
got,
tonsure.
I got a
But that's
tonsu on my head. What you got?
we need to work on your R's. No, but also it's funny because well, une tonsure that's like for the how do you say les moines? The
Toupees?
no, the guys that make well, see, we have that in Belgium a lot of like abbeys that where you make the beer and cheese and stuff.
Okay.
It's like the where the les moines. I don't remember how you say it. Moine.
Chef hat.
No, it's they're like religious people in like those brown robes.
Monks.
Monks, probably monks. So and that's that they usually have that, right? The yeah,
Yeah.
une tonsure. That's what it's called.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I can't even do that because it doesn't grow right here.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you're right. They
it
do
don't-
have it all the way in the front.
Yeah,
I
they have it
forgot.
on the front, and then you just kind of
Oh,
shave the
yeah,
little
so you're
circle
just
on the
like
back.
here.
Yeah, no, I only grow right here.
You know, it's good that you did that because, for example, my godfather, he has that too, but for some reason, I'm so sorry. He probably would never watch it. If you ever do, I'm so sorry. But he, like, see, like I did that again recently. When I was younger, I used to put my hair like that, and then I stopped for the longest time, and then now I'm like, I don't know, for some reason I'm doing it again. But that's what he's doing with. He has like 3 hair here, and you don't say that in English, but for us, hair is plural in French. So he has like 3 pieces of hair here, and he combs them over to hide, but it's not hiding anything. And yeah, so you're owning
yeah.
it bald.
You got it.
I think it's better.
You just gotta own it. You
Mm-mm.
just gotta own it. Earlier you said, the podcast, and you had mentioned your accent. That's one of the reasons why people will watch it, just because you have a different accent than what we're used to. Even when we first started talking, that was one of the first things that I picked up. I was like, hold on, there's an accent there.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? I got a buddy, and he does a podcast, and for whatever reason, his throat, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't ask questions. I'm just like, it is what it is. But it sounds like he's always straining to talk.
Oh,
And he's like, I hate that about myself. I'm like, bro, that's one of the reasons why most people will
makes
listen
you
to you.
special.
Yeah, because it's what stands out.
Mm-mm.
And he's like, okay. I was like, so keep on doing it, bro. Like, keep on pumping that stuff out because that's what's going to attract. Our brains are so used to seeing the same thing via social media that when something stands out to us, we have to address it. We have to address it. Okay, we got we started talking about hair, but there was something else that
I
you had
threw
mentioned.
so many things at you.
That's right. There was something else that you had mentioned that I wanted to loop back around on. It'll come back up.
Oh yes.
It'll come back up.
So it's okay. I have plenty. Oh, so yes. Let's go back to your tattoos. So what is written on your?
Oh, my arm.
Yes.
In Spanish, it says "Dime con quien andes y te digo quién eres," which translates to "Show me who you spend your time with, and I'll tell you what kind of person you are." My grandma's favorite saying. She used to tell me that all the time.
It's funny because there's a saying that says that we're the mix of the 5 people that are the closest to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Okay, I'm just gonna geek out real fast.
fine.
It's interesting to me that we have these same phrases in very different cultures, but we're not connected.
Right.
Like, I got a homie, and he's from the Oriental. I'm not going to try. He's Asian, all right? And he has a very similar phrase. I got homies who are Arabics and Middle Eastern. They got a very similar phrase. I'm like, we're getting this stuff from somewhere, because ain't no way that you grew up in Morocco, homie grew up in Asia, I grew up in New Mexico, and we all have this very similar teaching that we all got from our elders at some point in time.
Right. And meanwhile, politics want to make us believe that we're all different and, you know.
Yeah, because division sells,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's 4 ways to get attention, they say. Chris Tucker says it. And one of them is drama. Like, just by causing division and drama, people are going to get there, which is so wild to me because there's this idea. It's called the red ant theory, and you get this. I think it's called the red ant theory. But you get red ants and you get black ants, and you put them inside of a jar together, and they'll coexist, no problems, no issues. As soon as you start shaking that jar, the black ants think it's the red ants who's causing the problem. The red ants think it's the black ants that's causing the problem, and so then they go to war with each other, start killing each other. but it wasn't either
But
one
it
of
was their
them.
environment.
It was their environment that got shaken up, that caused
Mm-mm.
them to react in a certain way because all they could see was the people around them. And psychologically, people need to have somebody to hate. Like,
Oh
we,
yeah.
we use Nike, just do it, right? Like, they all have somebody who they hate, the people who don't do it.
Right.
So, just as human beings, we have to have that's the enemy, and this is you're either on our side or not on our side.
Mm-mm.
When the reality is, we're all on the same side fighting this government that claims to, yeah, like you said, that's topics.
That's
That's
yeah.
that's topics headed
I
down.
know. I mean, we
Another one.
can do
Oh,
our whole episode about
that's
that.
what I was gonna say to you. One is that if you do and you are serious about getting somebody who could help you out, I got a buddy who specializes in working with women,
Oh yeah.
and getting them fit and doing all that accountability and all that stuff. And what I would suggest doing is instead of paying them, just tell them that you're gonna give them a sponsorship. Like you're gonna promote their business on your podcast,
Oh, smart.
so you don't have to spend money. Like use this, right? And if you guys need a,
Right.
just plug it in at the end, their logo, and there you go. That's how I would do that. Like,
If you're a coach out there,
and you would like to be a sponsor of,
please reach out.
please reach out. We will
You
make
can
sure
be
that
a-
your logo goes on the end of every show
Yes.
for at least 6 months or until she gets the results that she wants. That's how I would do it.
That is smart.
Yeah.
That is smart.
I,
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I love solving problems.
Yeah, you seem to be a
Yeah.
problem solver.
That's yes, I am a problem solver. I love solving problems. The problem is that if I don't have problems to solve, I make problems so that I can solve them.
Mhm.
I'm one of those people. I'm just like, oh, there's not a problem. All right, let's cause
Let's
a problem.
make one. Mm-mm.
And people look at me like, what? I'm like, yeah, let's make a problem so we can solve the problem. They're like, just don't start the problem. I'm like, that don't make no sense because then who's gonna solve the problem?
Right. Well, speaking. Oh, it's not a problem. But speaking of something in your life that is, not fulfilled yet, I wanted to dive into your sentimental life.
I like the eyebrows. I hope they caught that. I like eyebrows.
So were you? So you said without saying that you were not the popular one at the time when you were younger in high school, but you kind of were ish maybe, or people would think that.
Possibly.
Did you how was it for you and girls when you were younger?
Oh, I love girls, and girls love me.
Okay.
Like, I say this as this is just facts. I'm not trying to spit my own ego, but I learned at a very young age that women are attracted to me. And I learned that not the best ways.
Okay.
So for me, like I got exposed to sexuality, sexual things at a very young age in a very non-structured way that wasn't very healthy.
Okay.
So that's how I got introduced to girls. But I learned that girls love me. And it wasn't so much that girls love me, they love the idea of me.
Huh.
So when I started to pick up on that, I'd treat girls like crap, basically, and they'd still stick around. And I'm like, well, why are you sticking around if you say that I ain't sugar, honey, iced tea, and I treat you like crap? Well, because you have a status symbol with you. When we go certain places, people move out of the way when you pull up. When I ask and I say that I'm with you, I automatically get things. I'm like, yeah, okay. So you like the idea of me. You don't actually like me. And that has been, that makes sense to me because I didn't even like me when I was growing up. Like, I didn't like who I was. I didn't like anything about me. So it makes sense that I attracted people who didn't.
That makes sense.
Like me, just use me because I used myself. Like, we attract what we are, not what we want. So at the end of the day, when I saw that pattern happening, I knew it was me. And then the other thing, our first experiences or exposures to things really have they define a lot of stuff for us, and we either need to change that definition or just know that it's being defined. A couple different examples. When somebody gets high or gets drunk for the first time, that's the highest they'll ever get or the drunkest they'll ever get. So no matter what they do afterwards, they will never achieve that same feeling. Okay, that's scientifically proven, um, fact based. But if that's the principle with substances, then it's got to be this principle with the same feelings for everything else. So for me, the first girlfriend that I had is like elementary school, right? She runs up to me. I was swinging. I hop off the swing, and this girl runs up to me, and she was the cute girl of the class. I don't know how cute she is now, but at the time, she was the cute girl of the class. She's like, "Hey, you're my boyfriend now." I'm like, "Well, I thought that you were with homie." She's like, "No, he. I want to make him mad, and so I broke up with him, and you're gonna be my boyfriend."
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that was my first exposure to relationship.
Mm-mm.
Was that plus what I had going on at
Using.
home.
Mm-hmm.
And at home, I didn't see the most healthy relationship. It wasn't dysfunctional, it wasn't abusive, but it wasn't the most healthy
Yeah.
relationship. So for me, my definition of relationship was, oh, just use people.
Mm-hmm.
And most people just want to use you because of the way that you look, right? That's how I grew up, when it comes to romantic relationships. So for me, I was just like, it is what it is. Here's the other side of it. I didn't know like girls smiling at you randomly was uncommon for other people. I get people smiling at me all the time. I'm just like, oh yeah, they're just smiling. My sister be like, no, she's hitting on you. And I'm like, I guess I missed that cue, and I missed the cue from the other girl and the cue from the other girl too. My sister be like, yeah. We'll go out sometimes. My sister be like, you're a dumbass, Nico. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, that girl was hitting on you and you just blew her off. I'm like, I didn't even know she was hitting on me. Like, just say that you like me. It's pretty simple. She's like, girls don't do that.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, oh. I grew up around a lot of manly men.
I see.
So the bigger thing was, how many women can you get with? I had to learn at a later age that the value of a man is not how many women he can take to bed, but if he can actually keep one woman happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real man. A real man can keep one woman happy for a long period of time rather than multiple women happy for a short period of time. So I had to start reframing that inside of my head, because now I was horrible with women. I grew up around the old school where you didn't hurt women physically, you didn't hurt women or children physically. Those are like the only two rules. You don't mess with children, you don't mess with women. Like, those are the only two rules. Everything else is free game. I didn't understand that abuse was also how you made somebody feel, like how you talked to them when you called them out of their name. I used to, just as good as I am with positive words, I'm just as good with negative words. So I can make you feel like you're on the top of a mountain, but I can also make you, I can make you feel like the sewer is a better place than where you're at right now. So yeah, that was be it. I had one girl that really, that one that got away. I had one, and she was like, "Let's get out of Albuquerque. Just come with me." And I was like, "Nah," because of fear.
Mm-hmm.
What are the homies gonna think? What are my people gonna think? Like, you're just running away from your problems, when the reality is that she saw where I was headed. She wanted to help me out, and I said nope. Later, so that's the one girl that got away, and my sister sees her every once in a while. My sister's like, "Yeah, it's what it is, brother." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Aww. It is what it is." So I struggle in relationships. That's one of the areas of opportunity that I have. Is like, I'm used to high highs, low lows. Like, people just being people is weird to me.
Okay.
I'm like, what do you mean you guys just sit there and are around each other? Like, you guys ain't doing nothing? They're like, nah, just enjoy each other's company. I'm like, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's weird to me. I got stuff to do. And if I ain't got stuff to do, then I'm going to find something to do. So did I answer your question?
Yes. I was just, curious to like look back kind of. So you've always were the
I knew I was good looking since I was a kid.
Okay.
I knew that. I knew I had.
Then I hated you. You would have been the guy that I hated. So for me, and sorry, maybe that's something really like I have stuff to go through in my life.
We all do, so it's all good.
See, because for me, like as a woman's perspective, growing up, I always wanted to be loved, right? And I think because there were so many of us children, I think I was like always, there's always this stuff with the dad. Like, I wanted the attention, or I was the example for my brothers and sisters. So, I needed to show the example and be this and this and that. And then honestly, not to throw myself flowers again, but I'm good in a lot of things. Like whatever I start, I'm good at. Like I'm a fast learner. But then relationship wise, first I didn't have the time because I was running, helping my parents, this and that, and everybody was just like being kids, laughing, being young, and talking shit. And sorry again, but and for me, I had other stuff to do. Like I needed to help my parents do laundry, cook. When I went back home, I needed to go and grab my brothers and sisters and this and that. I didn't have time to text. I didn't have time to be a teenager, really. And so whenever and I was desperate. I think that's the word. And I was trying to hit on boys, and they were like, and I didn't really have I didn't have money. Well, I was helping my parents, so I didn't have money to buy makeup and like nice clothes. So, you had the popular girls that looked good and that, had their hair done every day. And for me, I had my hair up. I was running left and right. I was clean, but I wasn't the most girly girl. And and I wanted to, charm men and found the boys in my class or higher classes, and when I caught the attention, I was so desperate that I was just be like, okay, let's be after. It was always done after 5 minutes, and I was like, because I was scaring men. I was like, oh, I want 5 kids, and I want this and that, and I wanted to be in a healthy relationship, because same as you, I didn't experience that growing up. And so for some reason, and it's funny because I grew up with my dad always saying that he was scared of his dad growing up. And so his dad would come home, and the way he would close the door of his car or the door of the house, he knew if he wasn't in a good or bad mood. Dude, he did that to us. And growing up, he always told us, I don't want to redo that cycle. And unfortunately he did. Yep. And so I was like, I am going to break that damn cycle. And I'm doing it.
Heck yeah.
But, I'm just but all that to say that relationship wise, I would just scare people all the time. And it's funny you said that about that girl when you were super young, because I have the same. His name is Kevin, and he was my first boy. He was my first boyfriend, and so we would be boyfriend girlfriend. And then I moved school, and I found him again actually years later, and then we kissed. We were 16, we kissed, and then I wanted more, and I was just like, oh my god, this is the love of my life.
Yeah, we're gonna get married.
Yes, poor thing. But I'm so, when I look back at myself, I feel so ashamed. Not ashamed, but I'm like, damn, I was just so desperate for love and more, and, and I think I wanted things faster than what it was, at the rhythm that it was going. But it's so cringy. But it didn't work out, And to the point that even my dad was like, are you a lesbian? You're just going to finish your life alone with cats? And I was like, okay, well, maybe. and yeah, and then I just oh my god, very long story short, you can listen to I don't remember what episode I might talk about it in Mirasol's episode. I tell that whole story about how I met Joshua and stuff in another episode, but in a nutshell, I got kicked out of my parents' house. So one day my dad was mad. He left with one of my brothers, and it was a whole shebang. And then my stepmother starting being mad at my sister and saying that if my dad was mad, it was because of her, and it wasn't. And I never answered or spoke a word higher than another to my parents or my stepmother. But that day I was like, Mom, no, it's not Julie's fault. And the little do you know, she slammed my face. And she hit me, and she was like, and if you're not happy here, you can just leave. And mind you, when she hit me, my head was facing the couch where my jacket was at. And that's, I went to grab the breakfast at the bakery that morning with my money again, and I saw my jacket, and I heard leave. And my brain was like, jacket, leave, take your jacket, leave. Yeah. And I left. And that moment started the whole thing where my dad was like, well, then you better leave and this and
Yeah.
that. And so, and that very first same night I was at a friend's house and like, what the hell happened, you know?
Mhm.
And but all that led me to at that point I was finishing my bachelor degree and I had 2 student jobs, and then I heard that Britney Spears was ending her residency in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I've been a fan since I'm 6 years old. So I was like, she's ending her residency. She's been there for 4 years. For 4 years, I've been saying that I wanted to go, but I've been helping my parents. I had no money. So I was like, and at that point, I was living alone for, I think it was 4 or 5 months. And I already had so much money saved that I was like, I'm going to go. And that's the first time in my life that I did something for me. And so, and I went, and with my sisters, I was laughing because I was like, oh, I'm going to marry an American. I'm going to in Vegas and all that,
Yeah.
whatever.
Elvis Presley imitator.
Yes, exactly. And so I'm in line of the concerts at 9 at night, mind you, and I'm at 9 in the morning in line already. And this guy in front of me is talking to me, and I thought I was a fan. I didn't know anything about Britney Spears. I just knew like her birthday. She loves to drink Sprite. That's about it. A couple, lyrics to the song, but they knew everything. And he starts talking, and then the girl behind us starts talking with us, and she's saying she's from Albuquerque. She came with her best friend, but he's not coming into the concert. But he's gonna join in line later, and so we're like, talking. And then comes Joshua, and I was just like,
Hello.
but I had long blonde hair, fake eyelashes, black lipstick, work bitch hat. I was like, this is like leather jacket. This isn't me. I was like, this isn't me, I promise. But,
Just for the show.
yes. But and fun fact is, I asked him to marry me there. I was like, oh, would you want to marry me? And he said no. But we still ended up marrying each other. But yeah, so that's how we met. But all that to say though that for the first time in my life, I did something I wanted to do, And so that's also why I want to share my story too, because I want to tell people, if you feel in your gut that you have to do something, do it, because you never know what it can lead you to. It can lead you to a relationship or to a job opportunity or anything, or even just a good time. But yeah, you have to follow that instinct. Because and that was just not it. I was a psychopath because I texted him. The more I was texting him, the less he was answering me to the point where he stopped answering me. And that's when that was the lowest point, not because of him, but that was the lowest point in my life where I was actually surrounded by people that were not really my friends, and that rape happened and all that. And then because I met him in December at that concert, and then by June is my birthday, June 2nd, he wished me happy birthday on Facebook. And then that just, it's like it shifted. And we started talking every day to the point that in August is his birthday. And by his birthday, we were just FaceTiming every day. And he was like, maybe we should, maybe we should see each other. And I came for the balloon fiesta, and we stayed. And then we were like, okay, there's something there. And then the rest is history. But it's like, you have to be persistent without being a psychopath. I was borderline.
Well, yeah, but when you come from an environment where you're desperate, when you haven't had that type of attention, it's refreshing to get. Because you're talking about it from a girl's aspect. From a guy's aspect, I've freaked out some girls. They're like, what you look like, the way that you act don't match up, right?
Huh.
They'll be like, yeah, you look like a very confident, secure man. But when it comes to relationships, I'm super insecure. I have a fear of rejection. I know what it's like to be completely iced out by the people who are supposed to be taking care of you. And in my world, everybody's always left me. So if that's the case, then I'm going to push you away so I don't have to deal with that, right? And that's how my brain works. And I know that's how my brain works now. But even now, there was a girl I was few months back in April. It was a girl I met. I went to go watch some guys fight, UFC. In front of me, I started talking to this guy. He was there with his wife and his daughter. The daughter was cute. Ended up hitting on the daughter. She got her number, took her out. But I was so excited because, one, I met somebody in real life.
Yes.
Two, she fit the idea of what I would like to have in a partner, just aesthetically, right?
Okay.
3, she was out with her family, which for me is a big, that's a green flag. She wasn't drinking. She was out there
Right.
with her dad and her mom, over 25, 26 years old, and you're doing that like on a Saturday. That's just an indicator for
Mm-mm.
me that you might have your head on right, or you're screwed. One of the two. Like mom and dad
Yep.
dragged you because
Yep.
you're like I used to be. So either way, I'm cool.
Right.
I got either path covered. I'm
Uh-huh.
set. But even there, I could just feel the excitement inside of me, and I could see how it was portraying and oozing as a bad odor to the person that I was with, because they were just like, what's wrong with you? You ain't used to being around people." I'm like, "Nah, I ain't used. I'm used to people using me. I'm used to people only using me for a couple things: the way that I look, the money that I got, or what I can offer in the statuses, whatever status I hold, right? I'm not used to people just wanting to be
Mm-hmm.
around me so that you just want to hang out. It's cool."
Mm-hmm.
But same thing, text, and then the text messages got lower
Oh.
and in between. But that's why now, as I said earlier, you got to pretend like you're used to it. And that's what I realized out of this situation. Like, hey, Nico,
Okay.
you aren't used to being around people who just want to be around you.
Mm-mm.
You're used to being around people who want to use you. So
Mhm.
you got to reshift that thought process and pretend like everybody just wants to be around you because
Mm-mm.
you're just a decent dude.
I agree and I don't, because see, for me, like my experience
Mhm.
is that if okay, so to me she wasn't meant for you, because
Yeah.
then to me, if there is something, if that person even like cares about you or has feelings, or even if it's just platonic, like your appearance, you're still gonna fight somehow for that relationship or that potential relationship. And I'm gonna use like my own experience, because see, for some reason, like my husband before me, he had a 6 year long relationship. And so when we started dating, I was scared to death, because I was like, I, my longest relationship was 3 weeks. It's like, I was just like, oh my God, this is not gonna work. Like, I don't match up to her. Like, and to a certain extent, that's really mean what I'm gonna say, but she doesn't match the beauty standards. Let's just put it that way. And I was like, oh, she must have been so nice or so kind or have such a cool personality. This is awful what I'm saying, by the way. I'm just not, saying that it's okay what I'm saying. Because she wasn't beautiful. But again, what is beauty? Let's just put it there. And because when I told my husband that, he gave me a cold shower right away. It was like, to me, love is not about beauty; it's about who the person is. So and he said the way like my relationship work doesn't have anything like it's none of your business basically.
Yeah.
And he's right,
Yeah.
and rightfully. But all that to say that when that relationship went south, she didn't fight for it though. She let it happen. I mean, from what I know about
Yeah.
their story. And for me, in the beginning, it was really hard because we're opposites with my husband. And like I'm really talkative, extrovert. Like, I'm when something is on my mind, I'm gonna tell you right away. And he's kind of different. He's more like reserved and and he's gonna talk about it, but he's gonna take his time more than for me. I'm just like I'm all fire. And so in the beginning, I remember he came to visit me twice for a month in Belgium. That first month went really great. And then the second month, I took him everywhere. And we went to Germany and I remember that he had a hard time. He got sick, and I was just taking him everywhere, and he was tired because he wasn't used to it. For us in Belgium, we walk everywhere. I walked 40 minutes to work every day, and so I was taking him everywhere, and he was just tired, and he didn't want to do stuff, and I was just like, okay. But at that point, that second month he came was technically to ask me to marry him, because I came on a K1 fiancé visa, so the 90-day fiancé thing. So he had to ask me to marry him so that we could, continue the process and this and that, and I could move eventually. I mean, it wasn't like said verbatim,
Yeah.
but it was the process. And
Yeah.
so we're on the way to Germany, and it's ice cold in the car. And we get to Köln in Germany, and we get to the hotel. And mind you, I drove, I don't remember how many hours, probably like 5 or 6, and I'm tired, and I'm just like, but I don't want to be in the hotel room. I was like, Köln is so beautiful. We have like, let's go walk to the bridge and just, get some fresh air. And he was like, you can go. I'm just going to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, if he stays here, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because we're already, it's been ice cold for hours in the car. It's not gonna work. And so, but I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm trying to play it off. I'm getting ready, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. And for some reason, he was like, no, I'm gonna come. And so he's walking, and we're walking like, I'm walking up front, and he's like following but dragging his feet. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, man, I cannot walk any slower because at that point we're going to stop. Walk any slower. And then all of a sudden he took my hand and, I'm going to try not to cry, but he started being emotional and he said, I'm so sorry. He said, I'm a piece of shit. He said, I'm sorry. This is not okay. I shouldn't do this to you. And that's when his mind shifted too. And he was like, I see that you're fighting for this relationship and for us. And I see that you really do love me. And, and so he said, let me walk towards you too, meet you halfway. And that's when it all shifted and it all changed. And so to me, that's when, that's why. And at that point we met in Vegas. We stayed together for a month, like physically, when he came to Belgium, and it was the beginning of that second month. So we didn't really spend a whole lot of time together physically, even though we talked every day on the phone and all that good stuff. But all that to say that when there is something, I believe that you fight for it, even though society right now, it's easier. You just press next. And how many men or women is there on earth right now? But how many Nicos are there? Just you.
That's it.
Just So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I believe that whoever is going to be, lucky to share your life is going to fight for it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that totally because anything that you really want, you go after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of my stuff is business analogies, but I get a lot of individuals who are like, yeah, Nico, we want to have you come talk. I'm like, cool, let's do our initial call. Let's do our initial meeting. I'll go meet with them the initial time. They're like, yeah, we want to have you come.
Okay.
Cool, give me a date. Then they just stop, and I'm like, yeah, you guys didn't want me here. Yeah. You guys wanted some free stuff. When you need something from the grocery store, you got to go to the grocery store to get it. Like, the grocery store ain't just going to say, hey, we have a feeling that you need toilet paper right now. Here's some toilet paper. It's like, that's not how this world works. But you have to go after the things that you want. So absolutely. The other side of it that I will share, because I've dated throughout I've been dating for 20 years. That freaks me out. I thought about that the other day. I'm like, dang, bro, been dating for 20 years and like intentionally dating with standards and qualifications, the right way for the past, I would say 3 years. But I know what it's like to have to get on the phone and talk to your dad or your mom prior to talking to you. I know what it's like to deal with social media and the social media drama. I saw Facebook when Facebook first. I'm older than Facebook, bro. Like, get out of here. Older than Google. So I saw all that stuff happen. And what I've really seen lately is that we as human beings believe we have so many options. And it's not just in relationship. We believe we have so many options with time, and you don't. We believe we have so many options with health, and we don't. Oh, no. We have so many options with relationships, and you don't. Sorry. Like, on average, I'm a pretty average dude. Like, in general, pretty average. When I compare myself to the industry that I'm in, I'm pretty average, right?
Okay.
If I'm comparing myself to the general public, I might be above average. But where are we comparing it? The options, though, I think we are fooled by the options that we think we have when we really don't have as many realistic options as society wants to push. Now, again, I'm going to nerd out a little bit. The government, the system, they benefit from people not being coupled up. They benefit from people not being in relationship. They benefit from separation. Like, just plain numbers. You can rent 2 apartments and have 2 utility bills, or you can rent 1 apartment and have 1 utility bill. Like, it makes economical sense for the people who want just to stimulate business for them to promote you don't need relationship. And this is coming from a guy. You don't need a girl All they're gonna do is rob and steal from you. 80% of divorces are started by women. like, like all those numbers are set there to drive you away from it.
Mm-mm.
Which for me, that's a good thing about being critical thinking. Is I always wonder, well, why are they promoting this now?
Mm-mm.
And why are they promoting this lifestyle now? Because most people are unhealthy who are individually live. There's a thing that happens. I think it's in Japan. They're the only ones that it happens everywhere, but in Japan they titled it. But it's essentially someone who lives by themselves, works by themselves. They die in their apartment on their own, and nobody's around because they don't have couples, they don't have families, and so their neighbors get this whiff of the dead body, and that's when they'll come and clear it. That's where we're headed, because people have unrealistic ideals, one, and unrealistic options for their ideals. Because, sorry, this might hurt your feelings, but this tattoo is Eva Longoria. That was my celebrity crush growing up. I used to think I could pull Eva Longoria. Like, I was just like,
Why not?
well, there's an age thing, and then there's a couple other things that factor into it. But at the end of the day, why can't I, right?
Yeah, she dated a French guy.
Really?
Well, yeah. What's his name? The basketball player?
Ginobili. I don't know if he's
it's-
French. That's just the name that sounds French to me.
Who did she date? What's his name?
If you know, put it in the
Yeah,
comments.
put it in the comments. It's not. It's gonna come back when the episode's over.
But realistically, it's not.
Well, I don't agree. I want to say maybe your soulmate is not here.
Maybe, sure not. You'll be the second person to tell me that today. So
For real?
For real. So we may need to explore other options. Absolutely. But yeah, I think that society as a whole, and I gotta watch myself when I get into it, because I'm like, nah, you know who the heck I am? Do you know what I've been through? Do you know what I bring? Any dad would be happy to have me with their daughter. Like, any mom would have, like, that's how my brain works in general. So I gotta tone that down just a little bit, because I think very highly of myself.
Well, so what do you look into a relationship? See, I want to talk faster than I can. What do you look for in a relationship? Do you look more like, because there's different personalities, right? Are you looking more into like a woman that would be like, to me, it's important that she's like supportive, right? But do you want to like we're digging into really personal stuff. You don't have to answer.
There you go.
But are you looking more for like, not like a submissive, but more like just a woman that's here for you? Because see, that's okay. You mentioned that maybe you have money. And that's none of my business. But I feel like it's interesting how men with a lot of money tend to be, or it looks from the outside, to be with women that are like brainless. Yeah, they look hot, but I mean, they don't seem to have a lot of conversation. And I mean, maybe you don't date them because of their conversation level. But like, are you looking for that, or are you looking because, and see, it's funny because sometimes society tells you, well, if you want someone that's like smarter or have more conversation, you have to lower your like physique expectation, which it's not always true. So yeah, what are you looking into when you think about
Let's address the first one. I am not paid, so if you got a job, let me know. I'll do it.
Okay,
that's the first thing.
Okay.
Second, I really would like a normal relationship, quote unquote normal. Someone who's not. Many times I get people who are just infatuated at what I do, how I carry myself. I don't know what you're infatuated by. This is just how I conduct myself.
Yeah.
So someone who you mentioned supportive. I think supportive is good, but also not like, I don't need you in my business.
Okay.
Like, does that make sense? Like, I don't need you knowing.
So you're not interested in a partner in that in your field?
No, absolutely not. I need somebody completely outside of my field.
Okay.
Because we can have conversations, but I'm gonna tell you I'm right, and I'll show you why I'm right. Don't argue with me on these things, because in my field I'm an expert.
Okay.
When it comes to the things that I know about change and how to get people to change, there's no disputing what I'm about to say. Like, I don't care who you are. I've got toe to toe with doctors, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right." I'm like, "Yeah, I know," because I do my best not to speak on things that I don't know.
Mm-mm.
And so that's where, yeah, no, in my field, absolutely not. I just, like, a legit normal girl would be cool. That would be cool. But I do believe that you have to be attracted to them. So for guys, we believe with our eyes. Girls, they believe with their ears. Just, just the different functions of us as human beings.
Yes.
So I absolutely need to like what I'm looking at.
Okay.
That's the first part. But the second part of it is, how do you conduct yourself? Because I've
Yeah, but see, sometimes also what you look at is not like to standard, but because of confidence,
oh, absolutely. That's
could
the
make it work. Like,
that's the aura. That's the aura
mhm.
that someone carries. Oh, 1000%. I've dated a girl and I lost her to a rapper, like a pretty well-known rapper. She's that gorgeous. Like, gorgeous, but she didn't have very much character.
Mm.
And so for me, I was just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you saw a dude who had a higher status than me, and that's why
That
you
says a lot. Yeah.
that's why you booked it.
That's
Like, you
terrible.
know what I'm saying? But when you're playing with those rules, and you gotta understand that those are the rules.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. In that realm, in that lifestyle, in that chapter, those were the rules. If you have to have status, and if you don't have status, then you ain't gonna have the best things. So now, no, I look for somebody who likes data, likes to be supportive. Uh, I tend to look for introverts because I'm extroverted enough, and that don't work. Like, I'm sorry, spotlight's
No.
mine. Like,
I think that's why we work a lot, like so well with my husband, is because we're opposite.
he
Yeah.
likes all the back end stuff. Hey, you like the front end. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm the front end. Like,
Yes,
yeah, I'm front
yes.
end. Uh, that same girl that I mentioned earlier, one of the things that really piqued my interest was that she had a job where she was already handling admin stuff. So I was like, Cherry, like, if I need some help with this, then I could just hire her to do that. Because that's the stuff that I hate. I really hate that. Like,
It's my bachelor, but I hate that too.
yeah, I hate it. I hate it.
it.
So no, I got a type for sure, but mentally you got to be a little bit more sound,
Mm-mm.
especially to deal with me, because I'm a lot. I'm not.
We need people that bring us back to earth and be like, okay,
Oh yeah.
okay, come, like let's channel everything.
I dated a girl once, and she was like, "Hey, all that TED Talk stuff, leave it outside of here." She was like, "For real, like, you start to get on your TED Talks, and I'm gonna shut you down." I was like, "I like you,"
Uh-oh.
because most people won't tell me that stuff. She'll be like, with her, I shared with her, like, look, I haven't been in a relationship in like 4 years. So that muscle for me is not strong.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what it's like. And just FYI, because I struggle with substance use, my brain stopped growing at certain spots in time for certain things. So when it comes to relationships, you got to know you're dealing with like a 22-year-old's mindset when it comes to relationships.
Mm-mm.
Not because like that's where I want to stay, but that's because where I capped out at before I stopped focusing on working on that muscle. So even with her, she would be like, "Oh yeah, you're acting like a 22-year-old right now." I'm like, "Thank you.
Mm-mm.
How come everybody can't be like
Right.
you? How come people can't just say that?"
Right.
She's like, "I don't know why people can't tell you that, but that ain't flying over here." I'm like, "I'm with it, shorty. I like that."
Nice.
So that type of stuff, that's an attribute. Somebody who could speak their mind,
Right.
doesn't get walked over.
It has to. Honestly, too, in a relationship, you have to be truthful.
Yeah. And I'm a bulldozer. Like, I get my stuff done. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna run. You either get out of my way or I'm gonna run you over. And in relationship, that don't work.
Mm-mm.
So having somebody who's like, "Nah, you're not bulldozing me,"
Right.
it's like, "Oh, cool, thank you."
Mm-mm.
So yeah, that's what I look for.
Nice. Well, in case Marie+One becomes a matchmaking podcast, I think we have a pretty cool picture.
There we go. Yeah.
And nice, that's cool. I wanted to move to my little cards. So we
Yeah.
have a tradition
Let's do it.
on the show. We have a stack of cards that are life questions and a stack that are quotes. I would like, without looking, for you to just pick one in each stack.
Okay. One in each stack. We're gonna go with that one. We're gonna go with this one.
Perfect. And then you can read them to us and let us know if it brings something, anything.
Okay. One's a life question, the other one's a quote. We'll go with quote first. The quote says, "The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today." Franklin D. Roosevelt. I think that just summarized everything that we talked about.
That's insane. Yeah. Yep.
That just summarized everything that we talked about on our.
In one sentence. When you were saying earlier, if you can't summarize it in a minute,
Yeah.
we summarized the 3-hour
you go.
podcast in
Yeah.
a sentence.
Life question: if you could change one thing about your past, what would it be? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, no. I used to be like, oh, nah, I'd stop being I'd change all these other things in life. Nah, my life was curated in a way that I can be who I am today. And I don't know what life would be like if some of the situations didn't happen to me.
It's funny because I put that there because I have the same way of thinking. For me, like sometimes when I was younger, I wished that I could have traveled in time and tell my younger self and be like, it's gonna be okay. Like right now you're crying because this boy just dumped you and you feel like it's the end of your world and it's the end of your life and you're never gonna meet someone, but you will, and you will have a beautiful little boy and you will be happy. And but at the same time I'm like, no, because if I had told my younger self that, maybe I wouldn't be here today, because maybe I wouldn't have fought as hard as I did.
Yeah.
And so, it's like you want to, but you really don't, because that's really where, unless you're really not unhappy with where you're at today. But then you can, if you know you're unhappy, then you can change it.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's just perspective,
Right.
because what are you unhappy about? If you're unhappy with, if you're not changing something that you claim you don't like, then you're actually promoting it.
Then don't say you don't like it.
Yeah, don't say you don't like it. You only change the things you don't.
Boom. Mic drop.
That's it. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so before we go, sorry about that. Before we channel to slowly the end of this episode.
Said slowly.
I know.
I just realized we were at 3 hours when you said that. I was like, dang.
I know it's
Thank you, Lester. Appreciate you, dog.
the magic power of the studio. So our last thing is another tradition in the show. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask you: is there anything that you wanted to talk about, or that we dive back into before we slowly head to the end of today?
No, I think our conversation went pretty well, and I can sense that it's going to help somebody. That's all that matters to me.
Right, as long as we help one person.
That's it. But if you're cool with me promoting things,
Yes, please.
I run a program for individuals who want to change any type of vice that they have. It doesn't matter what the vice is. It could be eating, it could be drinking, it could be smoking, it could be porn. I can help you cut that out within 3 months, very simply. So if you're in need of something like that, or you know somebody who needs something of that nature, the program that I run has a 60% success rate. All the other programs within behavioral health have a 30% success rate. So I have a system, I have accountability, and I have a community that you can enter if you choose to. But just FYI, we don't BS. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. So that's one thing that I run. The other thing is that if you are a business owner who needs wellness talks, guess what I do? I do wellness talks, because wellness is 8 parts focused off SAMHSA's 8 dimensions of wellness, and I address those in a way that we can get your employees to be more healthy and leverage the resources that you as an employer offer. So those are the 2 ways that I would like to promote myself.
Nice. Well, thank you for doing that. I'm all for promoting other people, and and then if you're also interested in coming to the podcast and telling your own story, or promoting your own business, please feel free to come, and I would love to have you across from me. And you know what? I used to say it every episode, and I think it's been 1 or 2 episodes that I didn't say it. So talking about self-confidence and self-love, I watch a lot of true crime, and I watched this I think it's a Lifetime show on Hulu. It's called Text Me When You Get Home. And it's her name is Desiree Turner. Her episode is crazy. So she was a high school student, and one day, like, she was walking home from school, and this like guy, like schoolmate, was walking with her. She was kind of interested in him, but he wasn't. He just was faking it. And then a friend of his like joined, and they ended up shooting her in the back of the head, and she survived. And she has a crazy story. And so the episode is insane. I'm just spoiling it. Sorry, but it's insane because it builds up, and then all of a sudden she's in front of the camera and she's like, "That girl is me." And you're like, "What the flip?" And so, and she lost, like, you know, when people have brain aneurysm, if they survive, most of the time they're like, their brain is like back into like the 6-year-old self that they were, and they have to relearn everything. And that's what happened to her. She had to relearn how to talk, how to walk, how to do everything. And she did that. Unfortunately, she passed away in April this year. Oh, this makes me emotional because damn, she had such a crazy life. But when after that accident, she started to grow flowers. And she wasn't like a key speaker, but she could have. I think that's what her life would probably have been, because she had really beautiful and interesting things to say. But all that to say that she said in front of the camera that, you know, the flowers that she grew, she says, you know, a rose, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful flower, right? And then you have, I'm not saying it the right way. I'm so sorry. And then she said, you have a sunflower. It's a beautiful flower, right? But they're both beautiful, but they look nothing alike. And you and your neighbor, you don't look nothing alike, but you're both beautiful. And when she said that, it hit me so hard because, you know, little things in my life have been helping me build the confidence that the little wall that I'm building slowly. And that was part of it. And I was like, damn, she's right. And we're beautiful to us and to other people too, and we just need to focus on that and not focus on the people that don't find us beautiful. But she said something else, and I want to say that every episode. And she said, you can do hard things, be your own kind of beautiful, and find what makes you happy, then do it often. And I was just like, thank you. And I just happened to learn that she passed away not too long ago from complication from that whole everything that happened years ago. But so yeah, I feel like I've never met her. I only saw that episode, and I just feel a deep connection, even though we never met. And I just feel like she then dedicated her life to sharing with people and uplifting people, and I want to do that. And I feel like that's what you want to do too. Yeah. So okay.
That's what you're doing. Let's change that vocabulary. That's what you're doing right now, actively.
Then it's just so. Our last tradition in the show is that at every end of episode, I'm gonna ask you a question that the previous guest asked you without knowing who you were gonna be.
I like it.
And after that, you'll get to write a question for the next guest, and I don't know who it's gonna be, and you don't know who it's gonna be either. But so our previous guest was Brian.
Okay.
And his question was, okay, where is one of the best places you've been to, and one of the worst places you've been to?
One of the best places that I've been to is Clearwater, Florida. Okay. I love that place. I actually just got back from there. It's one of my favorite vacation spots.
Okay.
So that's one of the best places that I've ever been. Clearwater, Florida. You can walk around in just your trunks and go into sandwich shops, go into gas stations. You don't they don't follow the no shooters, no shirt. That's out the window there. Okay. I love it. It's amazing. It's beautiful. People are cool. They're down to earth.
Nice.
One of the worst places that I've ever been, in my own head. So that's one of the worst places that I've ever been. And sometimes I get lost there. But I am not a believer that the environment is what you make the environment. I know people who are locked in prison and they're happy right now. So it's not really the environment, it's what you're thinking. So the worst place that I've ever been is promoting the victim mentality inside of my head. And it's a dangerous place, very dangerous. And I've been to some dangerous places. Like, real quick story. I don't get too scared of too many places, but I do get aware. My senses get up. I was in Georgia, Fulton County, Georgia, a couple months ago, and I hit this corner to go buy some wings from this shop, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is what we're doing." Guys in just like groups of 5, 6, just standing all next to their donks is what they're called, but it's a specific type of car.
Okay.
They're sitting there smoking their blunts, drinking their liquor, and it's about Friday night, 8:30 at night.
And it's like, whoop, wrong place.
Yeah, I was like, these wings I heard were good though. Someone get these wings, and they all looked at me. I looked at them, gave them the nod, and they gave me the nod. I got my wings and I got up out of there because I was like, oh man. So I say that like not to be philosophic or anything like that, but literally the worst place that you could ever be is in your mind alone.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes being in your mind is okay, even when you're dealing with those dark things, but have somebody around.
Mm-mm.
So that'd be my answer.
Don't let it win either.
Yeah. Don't let it win. Keep on fighting.
I'm in my head a lot too sometimes. But for me, I mean, my it's not an excuse, but as women, we go through a lot of hormonal stuff, changes all the time. That is messing with me. But we learn to ride the wave and don't let it win. But also I feel like don't push it away, because I've done that. And then when it comes back stronger, at least for me. And so I'm learning to embrace it. And
about to go on another whole hour,
Go
but I
ahead.
just want to throw this out there real fast. What she just said is so powerful, is that when you ignore it, you're going to have to deal with it twice as much. Conflict avoided is conflict compounded. If you're not addressing the conflicts, whatever they are, then you're going to compound them more and more.
yes. Well, I loved having you, Nico. Thank you. You're so knowledgeable.
Thank you.
And if you ever, in need of help, please contact Nico and start your journey. It's never too late. And like you said, 3 months, like your follow up, you like follow with people, or you said you could have results in like 3 months.
Oh yeah.
That's nothing in the life. And it goes by faster than we think. And the time that you think about it, it's already, you could already have changed your life completely. Yeah. So don't hesitate, and don't hesitate to come here. If you don't have anything else to add, or maybe we could have an episode 2 eventually.
Let's do it.
I feel like there's so much I wanted to still ask you, and we didn't touch. But perfect. Then thank you so much again for being here today. Thank you guys for listening and following. Don't hesitate. Remember, follow, subscribe. I'm terrible at this. And like, subscribe.
Can I do it for you?
Yes, go ahead.
You guys need to like, subscribe, send it to someone who you know can benefit from this, and leave a comment of your biggest takeaway, because it doesn't matter if you heard it. Can you actually absorb it? So I want to see you guys drop a comment about the biggest takeaway that you got from this conversation. I want to see you send it over to your friend. And if you don't want to send it to your friend, then send us to the person that you don't like, okay? Give them 3 hours of something to watch, and maybe they'll learn something about it. But hit that like, hit that subscribe, because she's going to do some amazing things.
Thank you. See you next time.